This is an emergency. Interruption. From the Hot Toys Wizard. An interruption. We are under an investigation. Myself and my friend, Captain Rex. In the 501st, we are going to uncover the mysteries of Hot Toys for May 4th week. Look at this. It's from an old Bantha. These are Bantha ruins. And look, a Hot Toys box. That is the first clue. Let's keep moving around. Look here, another sign of Hot Toys. An Anakin. What does this mean? All of this is the ruins from the May 4th week. You have to wonder what this means. I think we have more. Look, it's possibly a droid, Captain Rex. Let's go. Look at this droid. What droid is this? Is it possible that this is a new mold, that we're working on a new droid? What do you think, Rex? Agreed. I don't know. Listen, we don't always buy coffee out, but when we do, we buy it from Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
I'm just going to say, I think Captain Rex needs to join the same workout routine that Wrecker is usually on and join in.
Listen, someday I'm going to unveil to you just who Captain Rex is, and it's going to absolutely blow your mind. But listen, Lane, I got to ask you a serious question, a very serious question.
Yes,
Are you ready?
So?
No, but you're ready. Are you ready for the question? What you gonna do when May 4th and 6 Scale Raw goes live on you? What you gonna do? Come on, Lane. We are live, baby.
That day I'm gonna be in the hospital. And I mean,
what? Too much coffee?
No, I mean literally, I'm gonna be in the hospital that day for a procedure. So,
are you really?
Yep. Not anything serious or anything, but
well, that's
I'm
good.
Gonna be in the hospital. So, like as I was saying before we came on, that is the least excited May the 4th I'm probably ever.
Well, listen, just for you. Hopefully, we'll get another Mace Windu right away on that day, or maybe even a third 3PO. Why wait? Just put out the Empire Strike. We got a Batman today, and like I was talking backstage, there's a couple of Christian Bale Batmans in stock. So, just go ahead and put out another one. You got a quarter scale one. You got the new Batman that's out there. You got another new Batman Deluxe. You've got the Keaton Batman. You got so many Batmans.
You got like 5 different Batmans.
You're going to get you're going to get the Aries Tarrington Batman, because I'm going to be playing him too.
Is he going to say, I'm the Hot Toys Batman?
You'd think it was the only thing DC ever made.
You know what? Batman is real.
It's the only thing that sells. It's the only thing that's going to sell.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, but Hoth Hometown right now, like just DC Comics, about like 35 to 40% of their entire comic line, which is sometimes up to like 85
Batman.
Is all Batman.
Yeah,
I get it. So they're saying the only thing that sells is Batman.
Listen, the Flash is going to be their last. I think Hot Toys is going to go all in on the Flash, because that's probably the last billion-dollar movie worldwide, like overall, that they're going to have for quite some time. And this reboot's coming, so I could see Hot Toys going Michael Keaton Batman, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. They're just going to release everything that they could possibly do for the Flash and just cash in on that thing as much as
it was one of the ones that they showcased.
Yeah,
it was one of the ones that they showcased.
John
Wick 4, 20th Clone War, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, now
the Flash was like one of those actual tags, though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys.
Yeah, probably.
Listen, Brent. I'm going to go around the panel to introduce. Is this what they call
him? The Wizard.
I don't know. Am I?
You have to wonder.
You think the IG-12 with Grogu in his belly is coming? Is that on its way?
I have a funny feeling. I mean, I wasn't, if I could find it prepared to fill up table 5, Brett, but while I'm introducing you, let's just go for it, baby.
Always great to be here, my friend. Thanks for the invite every Monday. I try not to miss it, and looks like we have a great panel again here tonight. A couple of gentlemen I've not met yet, so pleasure to meet both of you guys. And
you as well, sir.
You know, I hope not to embarrass myself in your presence.
Listen, I've got plenty of wizard juice on tap. I also got plenty of green Joao malt here also on tap, and of course, always with the deluxe Spotchka, which is a little bit stronger than what Fennec and Cobb drink. Anyway, it's a Tarrington special. Good to have the newsman in the house. We have got, everybody knows who he is. He's the man. He's the myth. He's got out of Flattle. Lane, what is going on, baby?
I am the Planoman. Well, nothing too much. Another Monday that made me wish it was Friday already again.
Right.
But
Lane, did you pre-order anything today?
No. Although I may be after the stream tonight before you guys all vanish. I may have a cancellation that I want your guys' feedback on, but that'll be later.
no.
But let's all
let's all have
NRD. There you go. I give you my
Go ahead and I'll get my NRD back. I will get it back because the item was delayed and it was still.
You'll get it. I got mine on
Xbox back. But anyway, we need.
It was delayed.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Is it because, Lane, there's just too many of them?
What are we going to do?
No, it's because I have concerns about the figure after seeing someone actually unbox it. But let's all have a moment here.
Oh, I know what figure you're talking about.
What are you showing me there? Is that Boba Fett? Is that Bo-Katan?
Let's all have a moment for our guy.
Rest in peace.
Vizsla.
Yes.
The heavy infantry Mando. And yes, guys, this is
actually everybody who dies in Star Wars comes back, so don't worry. He shall return, baby.
Yes.
I know everybody's never really gone in Star Wars, but there are good moments when it's time. But let's all have for our man who managed to also have quite a great exit. Sometimes he was a pain in the butt, sometimes he was arrogant, and sometimes you just asked, what the F are you doing? But he knew how to go out like a boss, following the way. And I think, unfortunately, he's going to also possibly help me spend more money on the Mando when I said last week that, I'm probably done with Mando. I may be having to put my foot in my mouth for that later, partially thanks to this guy.
Well, and that episode was just absolutely killer.
It was the episode the series needed.
And, as we go to Mr. Mom, good to have you in here, Ryan. We're going to fill up Table Oblivion with this guy over here, baby.
That piece of junk out of the sky! All fighters.
Kylo, we saw his granddad, Ryan.
I thank you so much for having me on. I know Aries, it's been a minute. I know you and I have been trying to work out schedules, and I know my Mondays you've been asking numerous times, and I think things have just the stars have aligned. No pun intended. The stars have aligned that you and I'm able to be here, and I hope it's the first of many. And I really appreciate being in the company of you fine gentlemen and talking hot toys and anything you have to throw at us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, no, Mr. Bob Collectibles is so awesome to have you in here. It's going to be an epic show. We've got so much to talk about. And I know, we've got AJ, Halt's hometown hero. And listen, AJ, before we say hi to you, we got to fill up table 2 with one of the strongest guys in the universe, baby.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another.
Are we going to get another wait list, AJ? How you doing?
If it does, I'm expecting it to happen like Q3. Q3 is the only place that I see that popping up based on like what's going on. Everything else I think is probably good until it hits at least the release date.
Yeah, well, AJ, it's good to have you in here, but you have to wonder,
woo!
Is it the Wizard? Is it the Space Pimp? Is it Jay Brother Cousins? Jay, which one are you?
Tonight, my friends, it is Lando the Space Pimp. How's this wonderful and beautiful panel doing tonight? How y'all doing, brothers?
I am spilling Spotchka and Wizard juice all over the tables on the Cantina, Brother Cousins. It's going to be a hot one. You know what we're going to talk about tonight. Everyone does. Before we get going with it, though, we've got another Christian Bale Batman with 2 already in stock. and so many Batmans out there. We got another one today, baby. But I really like this one.
This one looks very, very good. Very, very good. Notice that I'm doing this right here.
It looks
very, very good. Definitely, man. But I'm just a little. I'm a little upset because we did get DX19 like not too long ago, and now we got this one, and it's like looks like it's gonna be way better than the DX19. But I had some friends that tell me like just take your DX19 and just swap the heads, and you can have the best of both worlds. So I don't know. I mean, I hate Hot Toys because either way they got me. They got me. So
I just got the DX19. You know that as well. I'm going to be doing that unboxing, and I'm like, crap. I look at this, and I'm like, I think I have to get this, my friend.
I was so conflicted. I did 2 videos. I did if you don't own a DX19 and if you do own a DX19.
There you go.
Well, listen, guys, we're going to be talking about the DX19. We're also going to be talking about this here. Obviously, are any of these individuals going to come to the aid of the ailing, the captured Mandalorian? If you remember, from the end of season 2, it was Grogu who needed rescuing from Moff Gideon. Now, the tables are turned. Mando needs help. Will Grogu get help? Will Ahsoka come? Will Luke come? Will Boba Fett come? Who will come? You have to wonder. We're also going to be talking about this Batman Armory. Let's go ahead, guys, and dive into it, my friends. And we're going to do that before the intro with my favorite pre-intro clip. And no, it's not going to be the wizard saying no, but it's going to be what it is. Let's dive into all of it right now.
All right, but this is the last time.
Now we're officially ready to kick off Six Scale Raw. Yeah, the intro is on. We have got the Star Wars newsman. We have got Lane Kramer. We have got AJ, Hot's hometown hero. We have got for the first time Ryan, Mr. Bob's Collectibles. And of course, we have got Jay, brother cousins, in the house. And let's go ahead and kick it off right now. So, everybody here, ladies and gentlemen, pulling this back up on the screen, we're going to be talking about this. This is the meat of what we're going to be talking about today. But Jay, I am going to start it off with you since we were talking about it. Before we get into the possibilities of what could be coming from Hot Toys because of this finale and because of what's going to happen in this finale, Jay, I've got to talk about this first. Now, we were just talking before the intro here that I got the DX19. You were talking about the DX19. I'm going to let it right out of the bag. I will absolutely be getting this figure. Your impressions, I was kind of blown away by this armory. Go first, baby, go.
Yeah, when I saw this morning, I was like, wow, this kind of came out of nowhere. I was expecting, to get some more, Mando announcements, maybe an N1. I'm losing faith, but I'm still holding on for that M1. But yeah, man, I was expecting to see, something Star Wars or, something different. But then they just came out of left field with this right here. And I was like, damn. At first, when I looked at it, I was like, what am I looking at? I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. We got this. They're going back in on the Dark Knight Rises. They're really going in on this line. As they should. It's a real good line, and pretty much this is how I started my Hot Toys collection. Well, not with the Dark Knight Rises, but with the Dark Knight. The Big Robert Joker was my first ever Hot Toys figure way back in 2009. So yeah, this is right up my alley. And like I said, I have we got DX19 and the DX19, the Tumblr, and all that stuff not too long ago. So to see this, I was like, really? Damn, they bringing this out? And I love it with the Armory. The Armory looks dope. It looks good. USB lit up. This is going to look good. And I'm going to say, even though I'm a little upset about it, I am going to get it. I'm more upset at the fact that, like, damn, I'm being a sucker for Hot Toys. But this really does look good. But I think the big thing with this is the fact that we're getting this real lifelike Christian Bale here as Bruce, and it's no articulation at all in it. For what they were saying in the description, and it's like a miniature statue, and I think that's cool. That works. I mean, that really works. Definitely for this pose. I think their first mission statement with Hot Toys is always realism, always getting the most accuracy as possible, and sometimes so it makes sense they would give us this and not give us a whole bunch of jointed elbows and knee joints and all that stuff. It could be unsightly. This is like almost picture perfect. The only thing I do see with it, and I know it's a prototype, if you look closely on the fingers when they go over his arm, you can see that they're printed. They're not as detailed. So that's like the only thing I think they need to work on. But this is a prototype, so I'm sure they'll work on that. But it looks really good. It really looks good. And that bat suit, oh my God, that bat suit is amazing. It looks great. But like I said, it does kind of piss me off this show, especially them showing like the comparison. It was almost looking at it was kind of like almost the match game we had when we were kids. Like, what is different with this one? Because at first I really couldn't see it. But then I looked, I was like, oh wow, those little subtle differences do make a big difference. In making it look more real, more realistic. And that suit definitely looks way more realistic. And the other one, the DX19, looks damn good. So it's going to be hard. It's going to have a lot of collectors up in arms, which it should, because it's like, what do we do? But I think for people that already have the DX19, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks for getting another one, but you're just adding more to your collection. It gives you more flexibility. But
here's the thing, Jay. With that, because I've got the DX19, and as you're talking, I'm looking at it. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like that this is I feel like the DX19 would work as that figure if you want to put like the head sculpt on there and then like have a bit of different pose. And this is strictly maybe, Jay, for the Armory. So if you're really into it, this head sculpt though, dude. I mean, that whole figure, like of him in his shorts and his t-shirt, this looks so damn good. Besides the suit looking so damn good.
It looks great. Like I said, it complements it. It really, I think DX19 will complement this as well. But if you don't have the DX19, I would wait. I mean, I would wait for this. But the only thing of it is, once you take him out of the Armory, you can have him stepping in. You can pose him stepping out, with the suit on. Like he just stepped out of the Armory, and that's a good Batman flex right there. But I just think if you have that if you already own the DX19, it just gives you more options. So I mean, it just depends on where you're at in your collection. Some people, I think, if you don't have like I said, if you don't have the DX19, I think this would be the one to get. But if you already have the DX19, you're really not missing any. You're just adding on to your collection. So it just depends on how far you want to go. But I think this thing looks great. I'm totally getting it.
Yeah, and Mr. Bob, before we go to you in here, AJ says, I feel this figure may have formally put a nail in the DX coffin. It may have. Spice Rider is saying, where is Cyborg? It's coming. Ryan, what do you think about this Armory today? Were you shocked with this announcement? Go, baby.
I had a lot of mixed thoughts about it, honestly. One thing, it just goes back to the testament we were talking about with the N1 is that Hot Toys and their releases, excuse me, are still very unpredictable because technically are still in this whole, if you remember, like 100th anniversary or WB or whatever it was, where they're going back and look at like, that whole thing. And we're technically still in that. They gave us Bane, we got Catwoman, stuff like that. So there is still more Batman figures to come. It's just that we're kind of like in Star Wars mode, so we do kind of forget when these come out. When I saw it, I was usually when I look at these things, I look at them like 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm like half awake. So when I look at them, I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. And then when I actually wake up and look at it, then I start kind of analyzing it. So when I looked at it, I'm like, whoa, this thing is awesome. And then I put my phone down and went back to sleep. And then when I was looking at it, it looks cool. It's basically a power pose. I mean, it's not the first one that they're doing, or like, if the Iron Man Mark 7 that's on pre-order right now, open suit. That's a statue that you plug in. It's USB. It's a couple $100. It's a Mark 7 that's opened and doesn't do anything except light up. So this isn't the first one that, people are up in arms about. And I will admit, I was one of those where I wasn't upset about it because I have the DX19, and maybe because I have it on the Bat Pod right now, sitting like right there behind me. It's hard to see. It's sitting right, right there. I'm not that upset about it. So, and I was talking to some other friends about this and stuff, and it is understandable. And I the thing is, the DX brand I think has been very saturated by Hot Toys with multiple releases, Bespin Luke, other figures like that, where there's just not as much of a caveat for a DX anymore. And I think the nail in the coffin was done even before this, just because like, you got Bespin Luke that doesn't even come with a USB lightsaber, rolling eyes, all that stuff is kind of standard now on all these figures, where it's like, why even bother doing DXs anymore? With the DX19, it's just one of those things where Hot Toys is always going to figure out a way to capitalize to make money. So it does stink that it's sitting in stock in its sideshow right now, and yet they're just announcing this one. But it's kind of is what it is, I guess. It's just, it depends on like what Jay said. It depends on where you are in your collecting career right now, whether or not you have a 19 or you don't. I don't see the problem if you already have the 19, keep it. And because for me, I will display this just the way you see it, with the suit in the armory, because that's the problem. If you take the sculpt off and put him in the bat suit, now what are you doing with the body? You have an empty body with no head. So it's kind of like, and then when I started looking at it, I was like, man, Batman's on the juice, because those biceps, man, he's got Hulk Hogan pythons there, and I was like, he's definitely not that big. And I was looking at screenshots. I was like, yeah, they need to go back and retool those arms, because those arms are they're way too big. And I like what they're doing with the head sculpt. It's just that it's a prototype. It needs refining. But I do like how this reminds me of the Iron Man Mark 6, where he had that kind of smirk, where they're going with certain expressions rather than like a neutral expression. Because you can actually watch that scene and almost pinpoint exactly the expression when he's listening to Alfred talk about Bane. He makes that open mouth expression, kind of staring at him. You could pinpoint the screenshot that they took this from.
Well, and Ryan,
really
that's
awesome.
good. And let me ask you this, but because you were talking as well that, I think it might have been backstage, you were saying, hey, it's a shame about the DX19. They also got the other Batman from the Dark Knight Trilogy, also, at Sideshow. And I think that, if Sideshow orders too much, and I'm going to be going to AJ next after this, on what he thinks of this figure, Hot Toys is still going to put out what they're going. I mean, you're going to say you have a couple of Christian Bale. Well, actually, you have a few Christian Bale Batmans up on Sideshow right now.
Same thing with Star Wars. I mean, yeah, they don't care. I mean, people, are up in arms that you might have another Bo-Katan 2.0 or another Mando. Hot Toys does not care what Sideshow overbought. That is what it is. Like, if they're sitting in stock on their website, Hot Toys. And that's the other thing is that, like, and what's it's a good point I want to make about this is that I actually like the update that they did to this figure, because yes, it was displayed with him in the suit with the cane, but if you recall the movie, and I can stand to be corrected, he was accurately, when you see the armory, he wasn't standing in front of the armory with his suit on. He was standing with it with the shorts and the brace on, because that's what he was training to do. and he opened the armory for the first time to suit back up. That suit with the cane and him being clean shaven is when he saw Lucius Fox at Wayne Enterprises when they were actually looking at the bat. So in this, for the sake of being correct, it is correct that they kind of swapped out the suit. I would love to get a suited Batman with a Lucius Fox 2-pack. I'd love to see that. But it's more accurate that they did it with the brace and the shirt and the shorts because he was training and he hit the button and opened up the armory. So it is in a more accurate representation of what's going on. It's just that it needs refining. The arms are too big and that the sculpt is there, but it's too plasticky. It looks like plastic. It's too shiny. I've seen people say, oh, this looks like sweat, or I get it, but it doesn't. It's not translating. I don't mind the expression. The thing is, the expression loses itself when it's on the bat suit because, as I said, that expression is when he's in his t-shirt listening to Alfred. So when you swap it, that's why I'll never put it on. Like right there, that's perfectly a screenshot. Aside from the arms, that's a screenshot from the movie. Like that's perfect.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a great shot.
When you pop that on the suit,
do you guys think those arms move?
No.
I think if anything, they'll come off at the shoulders to take the shirt on and off.
Well, if you look at even if you look at the hand right there, it's like mold. You see the mold line of the hand on the arm that it needs to be refining.
I'm
like
seeing it now.
It just kind of loses itself. So they gotta clean that up a little bit. But I'm not day one pre-ordering this thing. I think it's gonna sit a little bit. I will eventually get it. It's not a day one pre-order for me. I have other stuff to work on paying off. It's something that will come into the collection because I do love what they're doing with this. It's just that it's not day one for me, but I will get this eventually.
Well, good stuff, Ryan. And AJ, before we get to you on your points, and of course, Lane and Star Wars Newsman, I want to welcome everybody in here. There are 107 watching, so please go ahead and smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support. We're going to be getting into the Mandalorian figures that could be coming out with Hot Toys. Who's going to rescue Mando? Big part of this show, but we have to talk about this. Shout out to Connor from the Hot Toys hotline who says, you have to wonder, did Lane cry tears of joy when this announcement hit us this morning? And the Hot Toys hotline says, yes. We'll have to see if Lane agrees with that. Shout out to Connor in here. Great channel. Don't forget to go subscribe to him. But AJ, another Batman, another Christian Bale Batman. I kind of dig this Batman, my friend. What do you think about this?
I don't have a DX19, so I think this is pretty snazzy. I think if you do get one, I could see how people would be upset because if you just bought it, like it's still in stock, you could have just literally bought the DX19 like 3 days ago, a week ago, whatever. So like, then this drops. That's obviously going to be a little bit upsetting to some people. And then I do like the attempt with the dew. Like they did the dew and it's supposed to be because you had the waterfall coming down. So it was supposed to be like a damp, like spa sauna kind of environment. I thought that the attempts at that are like pretty decent. Would like to see the hair get maybe a little bit more wet, but like for what they've shown us right now, this will probably get updated. We've seen them update sculpts and all that in the last couple months, more than twice, right? Yeah, because we had the 3 couple weeks ago, and then before that, was there anything in between these last 3 updated sculpts and Peacemaker? There was something, right? There's at least 2 figures in between it, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't know.
I know Peacemaker was the last like major like holy crap, look at this.
Yep.
But yeah, I think this is like pretty decent. For $565, this will probably get pretty close to when it's dropping before it hits waitlist, assuming that it doesn't make it to add to cart because of the price. But yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty decent, especially as like a diorama setup. Like, I mean, you get this, you get the tumbler, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, it's good stuff there, AJ, for sure. And pulling this up on the screen from Jonathan. Thank you so much. With the $2 drop says, pull the trigger on the tumbler because of this set, guys. So there's somebody here who's really jonesing about this particular figure. And with that $2 drop, Jonathan, you must have spilled your coffee because you went ahead and got the tumbler because
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You're pretty much how much is the tumbler? $600?
Yeah, and this is $600.
Yeah, but $1,200, boom, you're good. If you don't ever want to buy another Bale Batman, you have like all the stuffs.
And Lane, I'm going to go to you here. Good stuff, AJ. Before I do, I just want to put up a couple of these comments. Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. Uncarded Review says, we want Alfred. Yes, I kind of agree with that. And the Pop Culture Living Room is in the house saying, wow, what a sexy panel, says the Pop Culture Living Room. Pop Culture Living Room, can't wait to have him in here at in Six Scale Raw. Good to have him in here. Don't forget to also subscribe to the Pop Culture Living Room. He's got an awesome channel as well. So good having the Pop Culture Living Room in here. Lane, did you cry tears of joy like another comment said in there? I think it was the Hot Toys hotline. Lane, your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I was kind of indifferent to it. Quite honestly, I think it looks sort of cool, but the Bale, I think the Bale kind of looks pretty good. The head sculpt did kind of give me some old man itis a little bit, like the J&D Bale statue when they first showed that Bruce Wayne. That one looked older though. That looked like 55-year-old.
Old man itis. Well, as old as this.
My powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
Good. Twice the pride, double the fall.
I would say Bale may wish he looks as good as Christopher Lee did in his late 70s and 80s, but I think it's a cool setup, the see-through armory and stuff. This will definitely tick the boxes for a lot of people. But I already have DX19. I already have the Tumbler. I have those two together. I've got Bane. I've got the Catwoman already on pre-order. So I've got a lot of the other stuff already kind of on order. Obviously I may have found it since I had DX19 already a little bothersome where they showed some of the updates to the actual suit and stuff. So it's more, actually accurate to the movie itself. But overall, to me, those were minor things and stuff. Really, they're just some cosmetic changes to it. Now, if that suit can actually bend and pose a little bit better, then I might be a little bit more annoyed. But overall, I think it's a nice setup. It is $565 on Sideshow, so it is an expensive piece. If you put me on
Lane,
spot,
let me ask you this. Let me ask you, since you brought that up. And what do you think of that price? And I kind of do like this head sculpt. I feel like it's going to improve or be different, but I like where they're trying to go with it, to be honest with you. I'm kind of excited about it. I kind of think when it comes out, it's going to blow my mind. Like, honestly, I got the DX19 Lane, and guys, I'm going to get this. This is great. And obviously, it's almost like having two figures in a way, because you got the bat suit in the thing Lane, and then you can have him stand. I mean, you can do this. Honestly, like someone said earlier, you could take the DX19 head sculpt and put it on this. I'm just being honest with you.
Here's the one thing I kind of issue I have, Aries, because where I think this is cool, if you have the space to be able to fit this, because this is going to take up some space, guys, this armory with all the size of it and everything. If you have space for this, I would almost tell you where you don't have to wait a year and a half, if you want something like the definitive version of Bale Batman, I might tell you get the quarter scale figure, because that is an actual amazing figure, has an amazing base. It's going to take up maybe slightly more space than this, but that quarter scale Batman is pretty amazing too, and it's only $30 more than this, and you're not waiting, and it has waiting to the end of time to end of 2024. So I mean, if you have the space to fit this, I might say, well, if you already know you've got space to the side where you can do this, doing the quarter scale Bale Batman, that might be the most definitive figure version of this Batman.
Good stuff, Lane.
But this has the purse stuff in it and stuff too. There are a lot of cool things with it. But I think, like I had said, the quarter scale Bale Batman, I think might be, for how much space they take up, might be a good alternative where you're not having to wait for it and it's similar pricing. That at least would be my thing with it.
It's a good point. No, that's a good point. And don't forget to smash that like button in here. You're watching Six Scale Raw. We're going to be talking about who's going to rescue the Mandalorian tomorrow. More importantly, what does that mean for not only figures that are going to be announced, but like I was talking about with Jay yesterday, brother cousins, what does that mean for figures like Ahsoka, the DX Ahsoka, like the DX Luke, like Casca, like some of the figures that are coming out right now? I think it's going to be bonkers. Newsman, someone brings up a good point in here, and I think it was Pop Culture. And he says in here, and again, Pop Culture, what an outstanding channel. Don't forget to subscribe to this man. This is more of a DX than the DX19. You know, we were talking about the Vader 40th. And I guess we were talking about the packaging because it's 40th, why maybe they couldn't make it a DX. I still don't know why. The DX has special packaging. But honestly, I'm trying to get with everything that this comes with, dude. Why isn't this a DX, Newsman? It has rolling eyeball functions. It has this freaking armory. It has the extra figure. I almost feel like I'm looking at a DX04, and brother cousins and I have been talking about this. Why isn't this a DX?
I think it's funny that you bring that question up right now, because that was the topic that I wanted to discuss when you came to me, because I agree with everything everybody else said on the panel, and I don't want to have to reiterate and say everything all over again, because I think everybody said everything that I agree with. But I think this brings up a great question, you know, going forward. What is a DX now? You know, what is a DX figure? And it just seems like all of the figures that aren't DX are creeping up ever so closer and closer and closer to being DX. I mean, look at this figure. You said it's got rolling eyes function, you know, all of the accessories that come with it. I mean, it just has DX written all over it. And I do not own the DX19, so I'm probably not your best source to compare this to it. But man, when I saw the photos of these pop up this morning, and I'm like Ryan, I mean, my phone is next to me in bed. It illuminates, it wakes me up. I got push alerts, notifications for Hot Toys stuff to just immediately pipe into my phone. So I'll wake up when I see that, and I saw pictures of this at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, wow, that's not a DX.
Well, you know what's funny, Brent?
It's crazy, Aries.
The DX19, Brent, and good stuff, Newsman, doesn't have rolling eyeball function. This one does. This one has everything that I would want in a DX. But good stuff there, Brent. I've got to introduce my good friend Lael, who's back from Celebration, who is in the house here, my man.
What's up, bro?
Lael, what's going on? Welcome to the Cantina, my friend.
What's going on, man? Thank you for having me, bro. I'm so glad to be here. Good
to have you back.
I'm still experiencing like a bit of jet lag, bro. Like, let me ask you a question. Is it, and I was talking to my girl about this the other day. So can you experience jet lag days after you've gotten back? Like, is that possible? Like, that you don't experience it like the first couple of days, but then after, like for the whole weekend, I was knocked out. So is it possible to experience like jet lag a couple days after you've returned? You can.
Every single time that I deployed, it would be like a week after like a plane trip, because when you're traveling like the world like that, like 18, 19 hours or like 6, 8, 10 hours in a plane, dude, it could linger for like a week and a half sometimes.
But it's like it didn't hit me the first couple of days, but like Saturday, Sunday, I was just I wasn't functional, bro. I couldn't hardly move.
Your body sometimes has a weird issue getting used to like going 6 hours back and then forward, because it's how we perceive like daylight.
Yeah. That's pretty much the way it was. Like I felt it like for 2 days straight. So I was like, damn, I had everything. Like I was trying to finish up the this Cable in the X-Force video.
Yeah.
And I was falling asleep in between it. Like while I was doing it, I was falling asleep while I was posing, bro. And I was like, yeah, let me stop, get some sleep, and come back. And like, if you just saw the pose I had, somebody probably would thought I was a pedophile, bro, because I didn't mean like literally, I don't know what it was, but I fell asleep and I didn't know what the hell was doing. So I was like, yo, let me just step away from it. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, I should have took some pointers from Mr. Mom. But I was like, you know what? Let me just, you know, chill, whatever. But yeah, it did hit me hard. But I'm glad to be here, bro. So thank you for having me, man.
Well, Leia, let's go ahead and jump from you to you. We just heard from the Star Wars newsman, and I'm telling you, I'm pretty excited about this release, honestly. I think you know, I kind of expanded my collection recently. I did just get the DX19, but I'm actually happy that I still have it, because I feel like that this is going to give me more diversity here for I'm loving the shorts and the shirt, that part when he goes in there, you know, from upstairs and puts that. But and this is like, it's fine that they don't label it a DX, but brother, this looks like a DX to me from old. But what do you think about this?
Well, I mean, technically, from everything that they're saying that you get with this piece, would label it a DX, but you know, they're not saying it's a DX. I think pretty much every figure that you get right now that has certain technology, you know what I mean? If it has the purrs, everything that right now, like this, the DX might as well just be removed from everything now, or you might as well just add it to everything. You know what I mean? Because it's just the way it is. I mean, with this piece, I mean, mind you, one thing I want to say though, because bro, when this dropped last night, I couldn't believe the amount of like back and forth arguing that I saw, because there were people that were really upset at the simple fact that this was released after having the DX19. This is an updated version from that piece. And I was like, okay, and I get that. I completely understand that argument. But at the same time, we knew we were getting this based off of, you know, the information that we got or what we saw from Comic-Con, right? So we knew that this eventually was going to come around, and we knew that this was the armory and it was coming with it probably would come with that suit. So I mean, I hear I'm like kind of defending, I'm like playing devil's advocate for both sides. Hot Toys already let us know this is what they were going to do, and it's just Hot Toys being Hot Toys, so you should already be predisposed to knowing that this is something that would happen, that they would do something like this. So it kind of saves yourself the argument. Don't even really get yourself upset and clench up the butt cheeks, because you knew that this was going to actually happen. Like literally, you knew this was going to go down. The only thing is, it's like, even with the, you know, the Bruce Wayne, because I was, again, mind you, in my defense, I was half asleep last night. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, cool, a Fison body. But then I paid attention to it this morning after I watched it. I watched you, Jay, and I was looking at it. And I was watching everybody that actually posted it, you know, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, it's not a Fison body. Like, I had to remember, like, yeah, like there's no way in hell you can get those hands like that. Not even on a Fison body, you can't do that. Right. You know what I mean? There's no way you would be able to actually do anything like that without seeing like the wrinkles in between the arm. It would sort of like have like a weird look. So I was like, wow, this is like a power pose body. You know what I mean? With just like what the head itself moves, correct? Just the head, right?
Right.
So I was like, wow, like, okay, they're going all out with this piece. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, the price $565, it kind of makes sense for me, considering the simple fact that you're getting the armory, you're getting all the accessories, you're getting the upgraded DX19. I'm just going to call it that, the suit itself. And you're getting that, you know, Bruce Wayne figure. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I myself, because I was saying this earlier on my show, I would have much rather had the suited version of him with the cane. That would have been dope to have with this. But I mean, it is what it is. They're giving us this rendition, and you know, if you want the armory, I mean, a lot of people were like, well, you know, they wish they would have actually had the armory separate from this. You know, I mean, you can get like a separate unit, but you know, it's not gonna happen. I don't know. I mean, I I'm not going to pre-order it, but I know once it drops, I'll get it because I want that armory. So I'll just leave it that way. I'm surprised you got it though, Aries. That's crazy. Like literally, that you got the DX19. That's what's up. Who on this panel persuaded you to get it? Now, there's a couple people. There's a couple people I can point at that are Batman fans that aren't really talking, Mr. Mom, that might have actually had some.
Aries, you getting the Bat Pod? You getting the Bat Pod?
I have thought about it. But
I just have to look. I just have to flex my shoulder. If I just move my shoulder, you'll see him right there.
Wait a minute. Let me get to the solo layout here. Hold on.
See, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So now we know who the culprit is, right? So we spending, everybody's spending so much time trying to figure out who's the other mole on Mandalorian. Tonight, I'm trying to figure out who was the person that persuaded you to get that, and I think I just found out.
Does anybody else look at it in this pose and think to themselves they sculpted the perfect husband getting chewed out by his wife face?
Yeah,
that's perfect. Like if imagine on the other side of this photograph, it's just so like his wife is just like going to town on him, and that's like the face that you make, the same pose, and
he's just standing there taking it.
Yeah. But that's his look when Alfred was telling him basically you're basically gonna get your back broken tomorrow. And he's just saying,
Well,
those arms are just so big, man. They're just so huge.
For some reason, I'm just.
Was he that huge?
No, he wasn't that huge.
He wasn't that big, right?
No, he was bigger, but not like this big.
Like that. I mean, he's pretty buff. He's buff there, man.
You skip like
his knees, like the muscles all. I mean, it looks good. I mean, and I just wanted to add one thing real fast. I think people also, it's a good crack at Hot Toys doing something different. It's something different.
Yes.
And it's just like that Mark 7, man, that Mark 7 suit up that's a power statue that's open, that just lights up, that stands there. It's just something different. I like them doing dioramas and exploring different things. And people sometimes lose focus that Hot Toys' number one focus is to make the figure look as realistic as possible. If that means that they have to sacrifice articulation for looks, so be it. That's why every Spider-Man suit doesn't articulate well, but the suit is on point, but you can't articulate it because they go for what it looks better versus the articulation. If they wanted this thing to articulate, I think they would have done a body, but it wouldn't have been as good. Like that, it looks so good when you just look at it from far away. Like despite the arms, the face, it looks like a still from the movie. Like when I looked at it at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, whoa, that looks awesome. And then I put my phone down and went back to sleep. And then you kind of dissect it like we're doing now.
That's the way it was for me because I looked at it the first time and I was like, oh, damn, they're giving us a dope ass Fison body. But then I had to look close today and I was like, wait a minute. There's no way, even with the Fison bodies I have, I can't even pull that off because it doesn't even come with the hands to do so. You know what I mean? And that's a seamless arm. You know what I mean? So I was like, and just looking at it, reading over it, it was like, yeah, that's a power pose. But like you said, yes, I mean, it's innovation. The way they're doing it, they've never done anything like this on this level. You know what I mean? So they've never done it. What's that?
I was saying my only problem with this. Sorry to cut you off, too. I didn't mean to do that.
Go ahead.
My only problem with this is I just wish they would have called it a DX. Because this would have been a hell of a. This is what DXs used to be. You know,
I know it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when that gets, I have to ask because everyone's saying that, and I'm just putting this question out there. When it's said like a DX, do you guys consider it because it has both? I don't even like to call the Bruce Wayne a figure because it's more of a statue. So when you say I wish this was the DX, I'm looking at it as like the suit, like what I see there in terms of, because how often do we get DX 2-packs really?
Well, that suit
so when people were saying
like a real suit,
Well, that's I understand. Well, that's the other thing.
That was a while.
Well, that's the other thing is the photos of the bat suit. How articulated is that thing? Because you haven't seen any photos of that thing with the knees bent, the legs bent. How do you know that the bat suit's not another power pose?
That was my point because the only thing that we seen was the arms.
He's just standing still in the bat suit. How do you know that thing is not even fully articulated? We don't know yet.
Well, I mean, if you go by the pictures, they show the pictures with him like suiting up in the arms moving.
What about the waist down though? You don't see the leg. I know they're not going to show the legs moving, but you have them just standing in music. I'm theorizing.
Doing something like
Okay, the other because they put out a gantry years Yeah, they put out a gantry. I think it was with him and Alfred. I don't own it. I never owned it, but they had the same type of thing where the suit was in the gantry. And I believe the suit was like a full figure. It was a full articulated figure.
If I'm not mistaken, I think D Knight. Yeah, D Knight said that Batman suit was the most accurate one to date, because I think D Knight, he's like the Batman guru. Like, I'm waiting for him to drop a video on this. By the way, I ain't gonna lie, I'm waiting for D Knight's video on this, because all the updates they did on this thing was everything he was asking about. So I'm very curious. Like, if he gives it the seal of approval, then I'm like, all right, Hot Toys did it. But if he has something to say about it, then he's like, I go to for Batman. But yeah, Jay, he said that one you're talking about, it was probably the most accurate one. He still modded it, but it was the most accurate Batman suit to date of time.
This is what pisses me off, though, because they're putting all the emphasis on this version, complimenting the DX19.
Yeah,
they could have did the same shit for that Batman Begins figure, and they did not do that, and that was a slip up. They didn't even there was no mention, and there was no mention based on the pushback. There was nothing said about that. They just let it go. They just like, we're just going to put it out, and who cares?
My man Ty, our guy Ty, just did a video talking about that.
That thing came out. That suit came out. I remember, because I actually did a video on that. That figure released the same week as the Val Kilmer Batman, and they did a first look on that Val Kilmer Batman. I'm talking about in hand, like who got it in hand. I got them both shipped the same day, and I remember it released. And the Val Kilmer, they went all out, a sideshow first look. All this stuff. You didn't even know the Batman Begins came out. I remember I looked at that Val Kilmer. I cracked it open one night before a live stream. My jaw dropped. I was like blown away. I opened that Batman Begins. I was speechless how much that thing was garbage. I was so depressed I even opened it after seeing the Val Kilmer one. I was so depressed. It was very depressing.
They didn't even do blogger photos for that one.
No,
None.
None.
Went under the
Not
radar.
one blogger photo over that at all. But yet the emphasis is, and again, and they made sure that you realize that this was an upgrade from the DX19. They made sure that you realized that it was. But that, that Batman Begins, it was like, what? Out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. We're not even going to talk about it anymore.
I actually like that suit better personally.
Which one?
I like the Batman Begins suit. I like
that was my favorite suit. That was my favorite suit out of the new trilogy, because to me, it more so it gave me that it was closely related to the 89 to me. That was one, because I love the 89 so much. So this was closely related to that. And what they did with that, I was like, yeah, so y'all played yourselves for real. So I don't know.
There you go.
This is good. Pop culture says the description does not state the bat suit articulates. That's interesting. But it looks like the arms do, because they're coming up and down, but it's crazy. And then shout out here to Hawk Wars Toys, giving a shout out to Jay with his review from earlier this morning. Good shout out here to Ray from Hawk Wars Toys. Says Jay said it right in his review. The hands don't look great. Jay, I got to ask you this before we move on to the big topic, the other big topic of tonight. This is obviously a huge announcement. $565, bro. What do you think? I mean, I think Ray has a point. He brought it up in there. It's a high price set, but the way that they're coming out with these figures, and you got a 6 month, 4 to 8 month window, get a low stock warning, they go on wait list. I think they'll put, people will pre-order as many as they're going to pre-order here for months, and it'll be gone. But 565, honestly, with this armory, everything that it's coming with, it's hard for me to squawk at this price. The only thing that makes my eyes open is it is a big price, but I don't think it's bad for everything that it looks like we're getting. Go.
No, not in today's, I think we all can agree, if this was about 10 years ago, this would have probably been like more of a lines of 465, maybe a little higher than that, maybe, at 500, but 565 with shipping, and this is probably going to be in a big box, you're looking at every bit about 630, depending on where you're at. It's the price of, like, it's a little it's a little less than a vehicle. And let's face it, what it is a diorama. It's a complete diorama with LED lights, USB cable, all that stuff. I don't know why they give us things that are powered by USB with no cables, but that's a whole nother problem.
That's another problem, baby.
But anyway, it's a little, it costs like 5 cents. But anyway, I think it's fairly priced. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's fairly priced. I do think because of that big price tag, it will sit around a little longer. I think more people would do, more like what Lane was saying. They're looking at the more value for the buck. I think a lot of people, that are really big Batman, Dark Knight enthusiasts, I think they will probably go after the quarter scale, because that's something that's right there. They can grab right now, opposed to getting, this and diorama. It really just depends on what kind of collector you are. I know me, I base everything around 1/6. So the diorama pieces and vehicles are my jam. So I think you'll have a bunch of people that go into that, but I don't think it's going to be as much to where this will be gone in 60 seconds or gone in 6 months. I think this will be around.
It's definitely gonna be around, bro. DX19 was around for a while. You know what I mean? That sat around for a while. I mean, you got to think the tumbler is still sitting there, the bat pod is still sitting there. Like, this piece is going to sit for a minute. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's best to wait until it drops. I mean, in my opinion, wait till it drops. Don't pull that trigger. If you got some points to use once it's available, do that, and that kind of lowers that price. I would do it that way. Again, I'll get it because, again, I wanted to complete, what I'm going for. But I'm not gonna pre-order. Sorry, Sideshow, if you're listening.
I still think this has a possibility of hitting waitlist though. Like the Batman with the deluxe with the light is 510, and that just went again like 2 weeks ago for the second time.
Probably though, like they've been in that 6 AJ.
They just take like longer to the release date.
Yeah, it'll just it's going to be up there for some months, but then it eventually.
Yeah. Well, that Batman Deluxe is due this quarter. Like, so all those are. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm wondering about? How long? Here's the thing, because you could think, I think automatically, well, how long is that DX19 going to sit? Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, I got to have this, but for a lot of people, and saving some money and in this economy, they still may be like, hey, like I'm seeing a lot in the chat, while a lot are going for this, a lot of people are saying, I'm good with my DX19 and it's cheaper. So you do save some money. What do you guys think about that? Let's go to you, Mr. Mom. I mean, I think
I would agree with that. And honestly, my mind's going someplace else. Like I said, I think we talked about it backstage or earlier on. We got a brand new $1 billion potential DC movie coming out, which is The Flash. And you got Michael Keaton coming out. You're gonna have Michael Keaton Batman again. You're gonna have Ben Affleck again, which arguably some people like. I'm Michael Keaton all the way, man. I'm Team Keaton. I love Keaton. And if they do more Ben Affleck, sure as hell going to get more Ben Affleck too. And if it comes down to it, I did tell you I'd get this. But if push comes to shove and they drop some fire for The Flash, see you later, Armory. I'm good. I could pass that up. Like, depending on what we get. Like, we get like a Michael Keaton Armory of suits. I'll take that over this any day of the week. Like, I'm just throwing that out there. Like there's enough that could sway me off this. Like,
if we get that damn back computer, that's what I've been wanting.
You might get it now because they're giving you all this stuff.
Yeah, we get that back computer. That's all I need. That's the only thing I need, and that's what I look. Because again, that is taking me back to '89. Like you said, Keaton is my Batman. That's always going to be my Batman. So if they drop that, that's going to trump this. I mean, that's plain and simple.
I could be swayed off this very easily. Like, I can.
What if they do that blue and gray bat fleck with the cycle?
That's what I mean. But how cool would it be, though?
Yeah.
But listen, if you're a Batman fan, I gotta say, how awesome would it be if they dropped the '89 computer? You got the '89 Batmobile, you got the figure, you got a Batcave right there. Mars Toys is doing '89 Alfred. They're doing third party stuff, so you can have an '89 setup. Then you got the tumbler, you got this, and you got a Christian Bale setup. If you're a Batman fan, I mean, now's the time. You could have multiple Batcave setups on each shelf of your collection. That's gonna be unbelievable.
And they need to. It's about time that they start giving DC some love, bro. Like, straight up.
I think the
More
Flash is
love.
going to be their last shot, though. I think Hot Toys is going
Yeah.
to go all in because it's going to be a minute before they get another banger. Honestly,
New
And the
trailer,
Flash could very
25th
well
of this
be the
month,
last
right?
one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would like to see them do some more Suicide Squad, like the Suicide Squad figures. I don't think they're going back to that though, thanks to putting everything on HBO Max day and date.
no, I think the Flash is
I
it
don't know.
until further notice.
I don't know.
Well, guys, we've got to go to the next part of the show. And we're going to steer away from Batman as I fill up table 10 with Christopher Lee.
She can't do that. Shoot her or something.
Something.
You're muted.
Aries is muted. You're muted. There you go.
Oh, am I back?
You're
Bring
back.
it back.
There you go.
Newsman, let's go to you. We're going to kick off the Star Wars part of this show and where the this banner is. But I put out everything best-selling wise, guys, everybody in the chat, guys and gals, and everybody in here. And you can see, and I was a little surprised, and it kept coming up, not surprised about the Darth Vader being number one best-selling wise. I knew it was going to go up there. This 3PO has been outperforming the other 3PO from the Attack of the Clones, which did really well, but didn't really crack the top 10. And now this one was number 4 in the show I recorded yesterday, everything. Now it's number 2. Newsman, is this because the Attack of the Clone Ones is waitlisted and people are like, shoot, I missed out, I got to get this one? Or is it because it's Return of the Jedi and some people are desiring this version for whatever reason more than the 3PO from that version of Attack of the Clones? Is it a combination of both? Or are you surprised 3PO is this high? Go.
I think it's a combination of both. I can see a lot of people maybe interested, not interested in getting the Attack of the Clones one, just because if you're a original trilogy guy, C-3PO is gold, and you want to have a gold version of him, and that particular figure was just silver and kind of dingy looking. So, it's a great figure, don't get me wrong. But I certainly think that a lot of people are like, okay, finally we get a goldenrod C-3PO delivered to us by Hot Toys. I better jump on that. And the other thing that I thought of when this figure came out, and I open this up to the panel if anybody can discuss this. And here's the question I would ask. Is this the first Hot Toys Star Wars figure that is connected to Jabba's palace and that story? Because this figure is directly out of a scene from Jabba's palace with Salacious Crumb ripping C-3PO's eye out.
That was on the sail barge though. But yeah, same difference.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I don't have an answer to this, and maybe somebody out, maybe one of you guys do, but did Sideshow Collectibles over the last 15 years have an exclusive rights to Jabba stuff? Because if you go back to 2007, when they first released that Jabba the Hutt and the throne, and then all those accessory creature packs that happen, and then you get a Bib Fortuna, then you get the Gamorrean guards, then you get those the archway environment, and you get the Han, and then out of nowhere, about 3 years ago, Sideshow Collectibles gives us a Lando Calrissian skiff guard. And Hot Toys has not touched anything Jabba that I know of until now. And I'm wondering if maybe this is ushering in them making more Jabba-related figures, because we need them, okay? I mean, it's absolutely imperative that we start getting more Jabba-type characters, because that's a very important scene in the whole Star Wars overall story.
It does feel like Sideshow's doing more of the animated stuff lately. Like their Star Wars figures have been from the animated series. They just had like that Anakin they did, and then the Ahsoka, and then I think they've got the Yoda and the animated Cad Bane. So it's possible they might have, when they're like moving forward, they could have split the license and just given Hot Toys the live action stuff, and then taken the animated for themselves.
Very possible.
I think they're still doing pretty decent on those.
Well, and you may get this R2 here that could, it could be battle damaged. It could come with a serving tray, and Sideshow, came out with that one. You're getting this 3PO here. Really interesting. But this 3PO doing better, Jay, than the other 3PO. But the other 3PO is now on wait list, so you can't get it anymore. I know some people were trying to get on that wait list for this, but as I was pointing out, I said you could just wait and you're going to get another one. And can you believe this, Jay? Not only my point on that, but here's the funny thing. Just a year, not even a year ago, baby, because it's not. This happened May 4th last year, but not even a year ago, we were saying, where the hell is C-3PO? We haven't gotten a 3PO from Hot Toys. We were complaining, we were moaning, we were speaking out. Now we got two of them, Jay.
Yeah. And we're gonna get more. And the whole 3PO thing gives me hope for Han, because we've been like, where's Han?
I hope so.
They missed the boat with the Empire Strikes Back Han. They missed the boat on that. So we think. Who knows? This company is weird as hell. They do some real strange marketing shit. I think we all can agree. They'll jump back and be like, "Oh, and here's get us all. We're all ready for Return of the Jedi, Han." And next thing you know, they'll be like, "Oh, here's Han from Empire Strikes Back." You're like, "What the hell? 40th anniversary?" Like,
God, can we? Man,
we'll get it. I really think we're gonna get. I think we're gonna get a Han. But back to C-3PO. Yeah, you're gonna get more. You're gonna get more C-3POs. You're gonna get one with him with the Ewoks on the throne. That's gonna happen. You're gonna get that. It's definitely gonna be more C because they spent a lot of money in that tooling to make this figure and the molds and everything. So of course they're gonna capitalize on it. So you're gonna get more.
Layla, we're gonna get a Han. I'm just gonna ask you, baby.
You know what?
I'm not going to ask you if you want a Han because I know you want one. But anyway.
I want to say yeah, but you got to keep in mind that right now, I don't think that they actually have the rights to Harrison Ford's likeness anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't because they lost the rights to it. Like that licensing deal that they had originally expired. So that was one of the reasons why we haven't. Again, they showed us the Bespin Han. They showed us the back of his head, put it that way. And that didn't drop. I think there's a major licensing issue with him because the grumpy old man right now doesn't want to give it away. So I don't know. It's going to depend as much as we want it. I don't know. I mean, unless miraculously for some reason he just decides, yeah, you know what? Let's just the last hurrah since I'm doing Indiana Jones. Let's just do it. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like he's not. It doesn't seem like he wants to actually give his likeness away anymore. So I don't know. No, I know again. The test is going to be May the 4th. Honestly, it is May the 4th, and around that time is going to be the test to see what else we actually get. I know we're going to get more, and I think that they're going to focus more on Leia. To be quite honest, we're going to get Bausch. You know what I mean? We're not going to probably get that.
Yes. Yes.
But other than that, I don't know.
Well, what about Lando?
Lando
Skiff.
We'll probably get Lando Skiff, and we'll probably get General Lando. You know what I mean?
General Lando would be sick.
We might get that as well. You know what I mean? So there's opportunities to get, but mind you, like I said, right now, I can honestly say, we might even possibly get like a 2.0 Emperor, you know what I mean? Palpatine. We might get, again, like a re-release of the Imperial Guards. You don't know, we'd never know. But I don't think, as far as Luke, been there, done that. They've already done that so many times. So I don't know if they'll give us another version of Luke, just depending. They could, though, if they want to capitalize on it, they definitely could. But then at the same time,
look at the Christian Bale, bro.
Yeah, they could.
They might.
They could. They could definitely do it. It's like a wait and see type of situation. I definitely want 9 I definitely want to get that particular figure. I want to. Admiral Akbar. They can give us that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So that could be in the running. But again, like when it comes to Harrison, they can give us another Chewie. Who knows? But when it comes to Harrison Ford, and I don't know. I definitely want them to give us a 2.0 version of Boba Fett in the Sarlacc pit, because that diorama base was dope.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just depends on what's coming. I got a feeling they might even tackle a Jabba. You never know. Hot Toys might do it.
You know what's funny, Lale? If you remember back when they put out the just last year at some point, the final production photos for that Return of the Jedi biker scout with the bike.
Yeah.
They had a Chewbacca, and some people were saying, hey, and they could have took any version of it, but they had Chewbacca in Endor. And I was like, damn, is that a side that's going to be coming out soon or for the 40th anniversary? I think we're going to get a Chewbacca, honestly.
I even heard a crazy rumor, and again, it can just be, don't take it with a grain of salt, but just a rumor that they were going to actually release a special edition George Lucas. I heard
that, baby,
and I was like, what? But it makes sense.
Well, that was actually one of their first.
And I heard that they were going to be another one. Like that's what I heard.
Do a director series so bad.
Yeah, if they did like a director series, that would be incredible.
Lucas, Coppola, Spielberg, come on, just bring it all in.
That would be incredible.
We'll see that happening, and you know, I throw this to everybody on the panel too. If I may, Aries.
Yeah, go.
And you know, harping kind of back on what Lale was saying with Harrison Ford's likeness. I'm not sure exactly how those likeness deals work, but is it a possibility that they could just take the head sculpt that they used already from Harrison Ford? Because we had three actually. Well, they wouldn't use the old one, the old man version, but they could use one of those two and just give us, you know, change up the outfit a little bit and give us another Han Chewie 2-pack. I mean,
I think they could if the license from when they put that out is not expired yet. I think that they could B, like Lale was saying, the license, if a license expired, are they going to be coming out with Indiana Jones, Jay, Hot Toys with that? And if they did, because remember we didn't get Padme for the longest time. But then all of a sudden, you know, Love and Thunder came out, and then we got that first, and then we got it. So maybe it's possible with Indiana Jones, if they're going to do it, that we can get Han that way.
I hope.
What do you guys think? And Leo, that might be a way we get it.
I don't know, man.
If there was a way to capitalize, now would be the time with Indiana Jones.
If they give us Indiana Jones, then possibly, you know what I mean. I don't know, but he has this love, hatred for Star Wars. That's incredibly insane. I'm like, yo, bro, like honestly, if it wasn't for the IP, your career wouldn't have took off the way it did. You have to admit that. Yeah, I mean, it would not have. So again, you know, he has this love hatred type of situation for it. I don't know. Again, you know, maybe there's a deal behind closed doors that we don't know about that's happening that might, you know, grant that likeness deal to go through.
When is
but I'm just not anticipating it. What you say?
When is Summer Showcase? Dial of Destiny comes out June 30th.
Well, he should just put out the figure and not get all cocky.
Don't get cocky.
Tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, but if the movie comes out June 30th, if Summer Showcase is like after that, because then usually like the end of June, beginning of July, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So I mean, they could debut the Indiana Jones like there, because they're going to end up dropping at least a couple teases that are there that we actually see the figures there before we actually get them put up for pre-order like a couple days later.
Well, what is that? The DXO. What is that? That's an old DX. DX09, DX05. Which one is that?
I think it's DX05.
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 I like that one, but I'd love to get another one, baby. Updated head sculpt, man.
Yeah, that'd be
I
great.
mean, it would be great. Mr. Mom, let's go to you real quick here. Where do you think we're gonna get with this 40th anniversary line? And I got Jabba up here on the screen. Lale mentioned some good ones there. Lando Skiff. Leia Boosh disguise, Boba Fett, which I don't think they're not going to give us a Boba Fett. I think
Is that a DX job, I'm thinking? DX?
Yeah, I mean, here's this awesome sideshow one, honestly, but I don't know. I feel like Salacious Crumb was a breadcrumb. No pun intended.
along with the base too. Yeah, his base could have been anything else, but it's part of like the sail barge or something like that. So even C-3PO's base is included in that. For R2, yeah, I'd love to get the serving tray, and I'd love to get like a magnetic piece that has like a little flap open with Luke's lightsaber sticking out the top of it, like right before he ejects it. So I think that'd be cool. I'd love to get that. But my mind keeps thinking about Return of the Jedi in terms of what we could do, because, you know, from what I understand, Return of the Jedi is supposed to be Howard's favorite movie, if I'm not mistaken. That's supposed to be his favorite of all of them. If I'm wrong, someone tell me, but I think that's supposed to be his favorite one. So I would just find it hard to believe, you know, Attack of the Clones, how many figures did we get? Like 12, 13 figures for Attack of the Clones between all phases. And I'm just saying, I find it hard to believe that his baby 40th anniversary, you're not going to equal that or potentially maybe go one up on that. So when you start looking at the characters, I start doing process of elimination. So C-3PO, you got you know, Darth Vader. They already teased R2D2. They teased the Emperor. You know, it's 4. I have a really hard time of not believing they're going to give us another Luke, maybe a battle damaged version of him. A little
battle damage would be
something different.
Rolling eyes.
It's hard to believe that you're not going to get Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi, whether or not it's just a repackaged one. I hate to say it, but a battle damaged. I mean, you're at 5, and then you know, Leia 6, Chewie 7. I mean, you get up there just doing the main characters.
They're going to give you an R2. I mean, we did with the C-3PO just waitlisted, so I really think.
And I had the Attack of the Clones one. I actually canceled it, got my NRD back, because when I see C-3PO, this is my C-3PO. When I think of him, I don't think of the Attack of Clones version. This is the version I think, just the beat up golden version of him. I would get another one if they did a perfect pristine chrome version, like at the end of A New Hope, like a pristine gold when he was cleaned up.
They're never going to give you that.
Yeah, I don't need the army build C-3POs, but I would love to have this one, and then I'd love to have a pristine, clean gold chrome one. I would love to have that as in
like some oxidations.
Yeah, I'd love to have that.
You know, and hearing how they could actually give us another Luke, honestly, they could give us a Luke 2-pack, bro. Like, what I mean by that is they can actually give us a Luke on a speeder bike.
Ooh,
yes.
Yeah, you made me think of that power of the Force, the power of the Jedi Luke from Hasbro on that speeder bike and a giant box.
They tested it with the Endor Scout.
Yeah, they could actually give us a Luke on a speeder bike, something like that.
But it's going to be just because if you're someone new coming into it right now, your options for Luke, people are buying the Mando Luke and kind of fixing that as a Return of the Jedi Luke, even though it's not a Return of the Jedi Luke. I know that's being, you know, people can use that as, so it's kind of hard for me to see that you're not going to give you a Luke. But yeah, like Lael said, I mean, repackage them, put them however the hell you want. You're getting another Luke. And with Han, I really think that with Indiana Jones coming up, I mean, they might have to pay him anything that he wants. But yeah, Harrison Ford is weird. Like, he almost has like this idea, like he can't understand why he's fascinated upon, like why people would want toys of him, you know, that kind of like celebrity kind of thing. Like, he kind of doesn't understand the fixation of that, why he is very weird with his licensing like that. Like, he doesn't understand why people would want toys of him in that way. I just watched a video of him like breaking a Lego Millennium Falcon from it's just how he is, you know. It's just he has a very weird.
I'm sorry, Star or not.
He's a dick.
I had to punch him in his face and just take that charge, bro. Straight up. I'd have had this straight up. I'd have took that charge. I'd have been that one person in the news, like, yeah, Harrison Ford gets punched in the face for dropping a Millennium Falcon. That took another person like maybe a month to complete.
Yeah. Like he just chucked that shit right over his head, bro.
I'm still wondering who's on Jimmy Fallon, whose damn figure was that? He tore
up.
I
bro.
think it was Jimmy's.
I don't know. I think it was one of his own.
It was somebody's because they got pissed. Like, see, I would have been pissed.
He just went like this with it.
Broke it. Like, I'd have been like, what? Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
If I'd have took a charge, I'd have took that charge.
Howard should just give him one to break. Just be like, we'll let you make a new one. Here's like 2 of them. You can take them on Kimmel and break them.
You know, He's a half-witted, stuck-up, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
Stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd have called him that after I punched him in his face.
Yeah. I was like embarrassed to be a fan of him when I seen that. Like the look on that dude's face who like built it when they handed it, and he was clearly just being an a-hole.
He was like, "Yo, it's all right, Yeah,
he literally had this look of like nothingness, and he just chucked it like over. I was like,
And
"What
was
are you
doing?
doing?"
Because I think the joke was, or I don't know, it was really he wanted him to like sign it, like autograph it.
Yeah.
And he threw it over his shoulder, and he's like, "You still got a pen?" And I'm like, "Dude."
Yeah, nah, bro.
Whether that was a gag or not.
If it was a gag or not, bro, still.
I kind of think, honestly, it was a gag.
No, it was. I definitely looked like a little.
It was a gag.
Do it like whatever.
It was a gag. It was definitely a gag. I just punched him in his face and said that was a gag, though. I'm sorry. They didn't. I didn't get the memo. I didn't know it was.
Yeah,
a gag.
there's like 900 pieces.
Yeah, straight up. Like, yeah, it is what it is. Though.
This is the best statement of the night here so far. Can't we have 1 year without a new Boba?
No, all the Bobas.
Hell no, dude.
What a
They're
thief
never
of
gonna.
joy.
I bet you the house that is not gonna happen anytime soon. Listen, I think the question really is, Lane, how many more Bobas will we get before the end of this year?
Jeez, man. Aren't there enough Boba Fett's in the wild as there is?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised we get another another Return of the Jedi in some form or fashion. I mean, I don't know if they can really top the original one. I mean,
I think they're definitely going to do that. I would think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the easy. I mean, literally, we've talked about. I mean, they literally just not too long ago. It's slightly different suit, but we just had the arena suit, which was basically the same design, but spray painted black. So I mean, why not? Because a
lot of money in a secondary market for that.
Yeah,
spray painted black.
I mean,
figure.
doing Return and that Return of the Jedi one now is a few years old, so it's not like we were talking about with the Batman with the DX19, which is still out and readily available, and now we're seeing this other one. So I don't.
Buy the sideshow one and make it custom.
Would they update that at all, though? Like, would they actually update?
Maybe
would they make the base a little bit different? No, like the Sorrel. I don't know.
No, I could drop his PAL space diorama.
Yeah, probably use it to keep that one with like the Starlight Pit. I mean, the Boba Fett would be cool because there are people who would probably want it who are more recent collectors. I mean, for whatever jokes we make about the stupidity of how he originally met his doom in Return of the Jedi, and not one of the better moments George Lucas had in his original trilogy. I mean, he's an easy piece to make, and we've commented these like anniversary movies. Hot Toys is trying to reuse or do stuff as much as they can, or do as little R&D as they have to for new stuff. So Boba would be an easy one to knock out. And like you said, you've been on that for a good, year now, or at least 8 or 9 months. Aries that they're going to do less number, more announcement type of things where if they're trying to get to 8 or 9 figures as part of this line, for this movie, this is an easy one to do. And just do some body improvement. And this is also, Lale, you're a longtime fan stuff. There's kind of 2 Bobas now. There's the classic Jeremy Bullock Boba, which this Return of the Jedi would be for some people. And then obviously we got Tamura Morrison, which we have some other really cool looking versions of Boba you can go for. Yeah. It's the same character, but it's 2 different characters also kind of at the same time,
I mean, I think the commemoration is definitely Jeremy, bro. I mean, that right there, I mean, I love Tamura, don't get me wrong, but Jeremy, that's OT. You know what I mean? And that's the piece that you would want. And I think that pretty much everyone has in their collection, right now, or the majority of the people, or people that don't have it in their collection, it would be an opportunity to capitalize on having that version. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to get a Boba somehow. You know what I mean? Like, there's no
New
doubt.
animated Boba, please.
Hmm.
If we want to reissue something, let's reissue the animated Boba, so I can get it for not $700.
Trying to piss a lot of people off.
Well, you gotta break a few eggs to make a nice animated Boba omelet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go to the last segment, and I'm going to start it off with Brother Cousins. And Brother Cousins, as I pull this up onto the screen, and I want to make sure that I get the right image here, and I put it up backstage. There's a lot, my friend, to talk about here. And you have to wonder. So listen, we have to wonder who's going to rescue the Mandalorian. Because last season, it's almost like it's come full circle. We had to rescue from Moff Gideon Grogu. Now we've got to rescue, and Grogu wants to rescue Mando from the same, guy, and it's very, very interesting. And I tell you what, how this relates to Hot Toys is so interesting because you've got Boba Fett's that are out. You've got a Bo-Katan that is out. Forget about the 2 DXs, Jay, with Luke and Ahsoka, which if they I really don't see how Ahsoka doesn't show up because they're looking to promote the show. Yeah. Even in the ending credit scenes, I'm pretty sure she's gonna, but the rumors are crazy about the gang. They've got to rescue Din Djarin. Look, he's been helping everybody else forever. Now it's his turn. Is Grogu going to reach out in the Force? Who's going to answer to that? Who's Bo-Katan going to answer to? Is Boba going to come? This is really, really interesting. But when you relate it to Hot Toys, it's insane, bro.
Yeah.
So it's a loaded question, but go.
I'm gonna say this, and it's probably this is probably gonna upset a couple of people. Quite a lot of people actually. I would like. I'm gonna tell you what I would like first. I would love for Ahsoka and to see Luke. And anytime I can see Luke again, come on, CGI, whatever. I see Luke as my guy. So we get a Luke in this episode, I'm definitely going to be fangirling out. Definitely going to be probably in tears again because that's my guy. That would be awesome. And Ahsoka coming and Boba, that whole crew coming to help, I love it. I think that would be right on par for what we got last season. But I truly think, and what I truly think in my heart of hearts, I think we're going to get more of a self-contained story. Because it's so much going on with the Mandalorians right now. The loss of Paz Vizsla. Who's the spy? All that stuff. I think it's a lot of stuff within the story that they built this season to unpack. So it'd be nice to see. It'd be nice. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Jedi. I would love to see some Jedi representation. But I do think it's going to be a more condensed story, and it's a lot going on with those Mandalorians, and I think that's what it's going to end up being. But if I do get my wish and we do get these characters, this would be great, and the possibilities for new Hot Toys would be amazing. I mean, especially for that Luke. I mean, we still don't have that Luke in the ninja outfit because that's pretty much what he had on in Book of Boba. That was a ninja outfit, so we don't have that Luke. So anytime they can, get more money out of us that's definitely great for them. And if they look good, we're gonna go and snatch them up. As far as another Boba Fett figure, right now, I love Fetts. I'm all for Fetts. I'm a little Boba Fett out, but it depends on how they do that design and what happens in the show. I mean, all it takes is a good show, and that turns everybody around, as we saw last week. So it's going to be, crazy what they're going to do. Bo-Katan, you're definitely getting another Bo-Katan. Definitely. Eyeballs and all that stuff. Absolutely.
It's like the possibilities, Jay. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. Like when I was looking at those Praetorian guards, and I told you that freaking scene in The Last Jedi, which is one of the better scenes anyway, with Rey, and freaking my mind started going, and I'm like, are they gonna freaking do this? That's where my head started to go. Like, I'm thinking Favreau and Filoni, but Newsman, I gotta go to you. I don't know, like, what's gonna happen here. Here's my thoughts. Din's in trouble. You know that Grogu's gonna. I think he's going to call out the Force. Do they bring in Ezra now? Do they just bring in Ahsoka? Does Luke have something to do with this? Boba Fett's Mando's guy. Do we see Cobb? Does he come? Do they don't have him come at all? Which would be, I think it'd be weird. With how much Mando's helped him and he came to his aid in the book of Boba Fett, how the hell do you not go help Din Djarin in this one? I don't know, but it's odd to me. But I know they want to promote the Ahsoka series. So something's going to tie in. But the Praetorian Guards, dude, has got my brain twisted all over the place. I'd love to see Ahsoka.
Oh my God, yes, and the Last Jedi.
Two lightsabers with Ahsoka against the Praetorian Guards. Come on, my mouth is kind of watering. Go, Brent. Tell me what you think.
Well, I think they're going to come big. Okay. And I think we all know that. You know, with a finale like this, you know, will it top the end of season 2 when Luke comes to the rescue and has us all sobbing like babies? I don't know. But you're right. I mean, does Grogu call out? Does Luke come again? Would it be a little too cliche for Luke to come and save the day at the last episode of back-to-back seasons? I could see people would love to see that. I could see some people who might be pissed off about that because, you know, can the writers not find anything else to write? I read a very interesting article today about the finale and about Star Wars as a whole. And I want to share a little bit of that, and maybe I'll throw it out to the panel to what they think about it. And in the article, it says that Star Wars has a very long history of fathers being killed off as a means of furthering their children's stories. And in this, in The Mandalorian, you know, Din Djarin is Grogu's father. Okay. And just to go back and pull some parallels out here, you know, if you go back to A New Hope, you know, it wasn't until Luke sped back to the Lars homestead and saw the charred bodies of Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. It was in that moment when he came back to the Jawa Sandcrawler and he said to Obi-Wan, "There's nothing for me here now. I want to learn the ways of the Jedi and become a Jedi like my father, learn the ways of the Force." That advanced his story. That advanced the child's story in that moment. At the end of Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader's death, you know, Luke was there for that, advancing his story to basically kickstart a new Jedi Order, right? You could go into Episode 2 where young Boba Fett sees Jango Fett die, and that kind of moved his story along. You could go into The Force Awakens where Kylo Ren had to kill Han Solo, really for him to move his story along. I mean, does Favreau and Filoni, are they ballsy enough to kill off Din Djarin tomorrow or on Wednesday? Do they do it? I'm just throwing it out there.
That would be
what
ballsy.
do you guys think?
No.
I don't think so.
Because Disney would never let that happen because it's a cash cow. He's a cash cow. They would never let that happen.
Grogu's not going nowhere.
Yeah. No, Grogu, no. Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
Grogu's story need to advance.
He's going to be in the new movie with freaking Rey. Everybody knows that.
I do have
I would say no, just because I mean, well, they could be those. I mean, that news could be lies, but I mean, who knows? They want to make a Mandalorian movie, you know. So
that one's on him.
I mean,
no, I don't see them making a Mando movie without Grogu. That's just no.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't think they will get rid. I don't think they would get rid of Pedro right at this point. At the end of the day, for Pedro, he's not in that costume all the time. It's easy. It's easy work. You know,
It's 3 days basically. Like you film the whole season, you have him come
yeah,
in.
but he also doesn't like. It's been documented that he doesn't exactly like doing it anymore because he doesn't like doing the show as much. Like when he did it in the beginning, it was different because Mando. I don't mean to hijack. I apologize, by the way. I treat it like John Wick. When this first season came out, it was like, what is this show? Like, what is this? No one knew anything about it. It's like John Wick. And then look at that. That thing catapulted off to where it was like a whole franchise. And it was kind of treated the same way where the first season came out. We didn't know what it was. It was in between things going on. And it just kind of skyrocketed into this phenomenon and it brought Star Wars back, really. And I think Pedro, I mean, I know I've read things on there that he's not happy about he's not showing his face as much on camera. He doesn't want to be wearing the helmet. He wants more FaceTime, and there's different things. And to be honest with you, he's got a very nice contract with The Last of Us? That he's over there doing his thing on HBO, and I'm sure HBO is paying him very good money. So I'd be very interested if Disney's going to have to kind of bend the knee to him a little bit and give him what he wants if they want him to do a movie and stuff like that and continue going on.
I think it's good.
I definitely don't think. I don't think after. Right now, look at the season as a whole, because like I said, the season right now is very divisive. And they can't really basically afford. I mean, no matter how much I love it, I love this season. I don't care what anybody says. I'm enjoying the season. I'm enjoying what it's giving us. I have no type of gripes about it. The pacing of it is fine to me because I like the slow crawl that leads up to something. Don't give me all your eggs in the very beginning. You know what I mean? Just let me just kind of find my way through it. But it is divisive amongst a lot of fans. But in my opinion, I don't think that, again, the sacrificial lamb right now was Paz Vizsla. That was the definitive death that they needed to kind of move the story forward, to be quite honest. Right now, it's basically like a change of the guard in a sense. He's captured. Grogu now has to be the one to step up. It's a way for him to step up now because he's basically sat in the wings for a long time, and he's been grooming him for a while. You have to step up. Like he's just, again, step up. There's no, time like the present. And on top of that, we have to basically see a standoff between Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon because that's what she wants. That's what is basically needed at that point. To say that a show going forward, and they already basically said that they had season 4 written, to say that season 4 can go forward without Din Djarin, no. Because again, there's too much riding on that particular character, and everyone loves Din Djarin. Everyone loves the Mando as that character. So I don't see anything. I do not see them getting rid of him at all. I don't. No.
I gotta agree with Beskar Kid. We don't agree. He said Pedro's negotiating to have his likeness. It's his likeness. That's what it's about. There it is. To have his likeness shown once.
And that's going to be the final season episode.
Because he's tired of being a voice actor. That's what I think majorly is coming down to. I totally agree.
I read that too, that he's got to show his face once. He's got to show his face once.
So he's probably going to show it tomorrow.
Which makes sense, though, because I got crazy theories, but like when people were talking about that IG-12, the IG-12 with the Grogu, and if like a hot toy came out, would I get it? I would not be shocked if that thing lasts like this season, like tomorrow, and it gets shot in the head, and that thing is malfunction, and that causes Grogu to step up and like do some stuff because he's got the force powers. He's got to, like Leia was saying,
insane, baby.
He's got to take that next leap forward. And what would be better? He's walking around in a clunky IG-12 suit that's moving around. That thing gets shot in the head or it malfunctions, and now Grogu's got to jump out of that thing and like kind of step up and do his thing to kind of save and pull some moves.
It gets him to that next point. So exactly. If the next suit is to get him to that next point, but at the same time, I even got this feeling that again, it's going to take Grogu to help tame the Mythosaur. We have to see that Mythosaur at least one time. Right now, you are rumbling with a whole bunch of jet troopers with Beskar armor. You're rumbling with basically an entire legion. You're rumbling with the simple fact that you have Moff Gideon. You need some firepower. And that, again, if they're talking about the rise of that Mythosaur, we need that now. Like they definitely basically need that now. Yeah, I
disagree. I disagree with you on the Super Commandos because they mowed through those guys like they were practically nothing.
Yeah, they did, but not an entire battalion. No, like if you have an entire battalion of them,
and there was like 20 of them.
Yeah,
but this is an inherent problem with how Disney handles troopers. Is they make them all look like they're as tough as confetti. Like,
they're cookie cutter.
Yeah, the Death Trooper special is getting wiped out like by Andor, and I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really seem.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, you can wipe them out, but when you have
Stormtroopers.
like an entire
I
battalion,
know, but I'm just saying how they use the guys. They get killed too easily, and I think the thread of the super commandos got chopped off at the knees by now. And I'm not just talking about Paz's scene. I'm saying like when there was like 50 of them coming down, and they all got wiped out pretty much, or except for like 4 of them in their first appearance. Like I was pumped seeing those guys.
Yeah, but weren't they just stormtroopers in Beskar? They weren't like anything special.
They were supposed to be Imperial Super Commandos.
Yeah, they look like just regular stormtroopers. They suited up with a couple extra layers.
I think.
At it.
Yeah, but they showed them like all the armor suits and all that stuff beat at the beginning of the episode. I'm just saying that those guys, when I first saw them, when I thought about a figure, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are going to be pretty good. You know, I first saw them like, I think there's a Hot Toys figure in my future of it. And then I saw them get mowed down, and I was just like, because that's not true for the Praetorian Guards. Now, admittedly, they were beating up a half-dead Paz Vizsla, but they still look cool.
I think Grogu calls Luke. Luke shows up with Ahsoka. Ahsoka brings a friggin' ghost crew, and Chopper just wrecks house.
I think the season is more like
it's a Chopper with his hands out just spinning.
Yeah, I really think that this season is more like the season of villains, more or less. I think this is going to be like Empire, where it's going to be a rescue mission. Where I think that honestly, like I had a theory where like I think that Gideon's going to remove Mando's helmet. He's gonna, I think he's gonna torture him a little bit, beat him up a little bit. I honestly even thought that, because you remember when Gideon showed off his suit, he was flaunting that Beskar, baby. He was flaunting that new suit. I could see him stripping Mando of his armor completely, be like, "Yo, that's not good for you. You're not worthy of that." Taking his armor off and kind of like demoralizing him a little bit. You never know. And I think that honestly, you could see. I think Cobb Vanth 2.0 is coming back because. They left him open-ended in that Bantha tank back there. I don't think you'll see Luke. I could see Ahsoka. I could see Boba Fett, but I think Cobb Vanth, because that's his boy too. People kind of left him hanging. And I think, I could see that happening more or less. But I think it's going to be like an episode where it's kind of leaves you kind of the bad guys won, kind of like how Empire was. Like they get Mando back because it's only 39 minutes, 35 minutes. I think they get Mando back, but they still lost.
Is it really that short?
Yeah, it's 39 minutes.
But I think they get them back, and that's the win.
It's 39 minutes.
But don't forget, even with the battalion,
all killer, no filler.
With the fleet, don't forget that we got Carson Teva out there as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he
and we already seen Zeb.
And we've seen Zeb as well. So they're putting these pieces together. So there's going to be a fleet, there's going to be an all-out war. But if they're, again, 39 minutes long, they're going to have to start. And what they're saying is this is just an extension from the last episode. So they're going to lead right into it. So they're going to have to start with a bang.
This was a world-building season where that's where I think people didn't. And I appreciated it. I think that
me too.
It was world-building. And I honestly, Aries, I'll say this one my last thing. If this season came out a year ago and we didn't have delays, I don't think anyone would be as upset with this season.
No.
It's just that this was 2 years overdue. And people really wanted this to be like.
And here's the thing. I'm going to jump into this. And I'm going to actually plug a show that I'm going to be on. We're going to have Six Scale Raw again next week, but then it's going to end a little bit early so we can jump on Lael's show. And Lael, I'm going to go to you with this because me and you are brother cousins are going to be on your show after Six Scale Raw. You know what's refreshing about this? And shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody in here. This is so fun. This is so soul-filling. And I'm looking at the chat and people are actually like kids playing with their action figures. What if this happens? Oh, this would be cool. Oh, that would be cool. Oh, no, that's not going to happen, but this will happen. And it's enjoyable. And people are being respectful. And people are being excited. Lael, that's what it's all about. I'm actually very encouraged tonight to see this and feel that vibe. But I know, I don't know what you feel about it, but I'm excited about this finale. I've been excited about the season. I've been excited
about the entire season. I have. Because the thing is, I have been excited about Bo-Katan's redemption story. I mean, Clan Kryze has basically been tainted. That name has been tainted for so many years. If you know the lore, it's been tainted. You know what I mean? So it is basically a redemption story for her. And I've been following this the entire, and I love it. Like everybody's like, Mando's taking the back seat. No, Mando's been there. He's been there. He's been helping out, but it's basically been like I love the simple fact that we're getting this. I love, look, has every episode been 100%? No, but at the same time, what series is, there's flaws in pretty much any series you basically see. Like, that's just the way I see it. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. As much as people love The Last of Us, there were flaws in that series.
Had some beat episodes.
They did. They had some flaws in that season that, and again, it was a slow crawl. But just because it was something new and people loved it, they were willing to give it a pass. You know what I mean? There's flaws in that. Just like, I mean, a lot of people, and I'm just kind of tired of people comparing, you know, the Star Wars, the universe, the lore from Star Wars, the IP. You can't compare that with Star Trek right now. You can't. There are two different IPs with two different ideas. Enjoy it for what it is, man. Star Wars is something that's supposed to be enjoyable. I felt that when I went to London and went to Celebration. I felt everybody there was for a common cause. They were united because they loved Star Wars. That's what it was all about, bro. They loved it. They loved the trailers that they actually saw. They loved the panels that they had, the news about what was coming, you know, seeing Mando, seeing how, you know, people like Katie Sackhoff, Carl Weathers, Rosario Dawson, everybody was, you know, really, really excited about what was to come. And that's what it's all about, the enjoyment, the excitement. When we have these conversations and people out in the panel, you know, out in the chat are basically chiming in because they're excited about it. It's about that. It's not about the hate, man, and pointing fingers and degrading actors and stuff like that. It is all about the love for the IP. You don't have to love everything, but you can have to show some type or a level of respect, knowing that all these years, you know, since the very beginning, that we're consistently getting Star Wars moving forward. And, you know, we have to basically celebrate that, bro. And I love the aspect of that. I've loved this IP since I was a kid, bro. And to see its progression regardless, I'm so excited about. And it's not to dispel anybody's, you know, if you have your opinions about it, as long as we can actually talk in a very constructive manner and have that conversation, I'm cool with that. But the minute you start hating on certain things and I hear like, I'd check out. I just literally check out. So I like where it's going right now. Hopefully, like I said, we can continue that, you know.
I disagree with you, Lael, a little bit, though.
I mean, some of the dialogue has been sus, but other than that, I don't really have any complaints.
It's all right for us to be critical of stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to be disagreeing with Lael a little bit on this season. I think there have been 2 good episodes. I think there have been 5 bad ones.
But that's your opinion.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to have that opinion.
Yeah.
I'm saying for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, and that's where people kind of get it twisted a bit. I'm talking about for me. I enjoyed the season. The problem that I'm having is when people who don't enjoy the season try to sway others by saying what they don't like about it, and then they challenge you for loving it. I happen to love the season. I love where it's going. For me personally, I can't speak for everybody else, nor would I try to. Don't want people speaking for me. I enjoyed the season. I loved every episode. I'm taking things from the episode because it's a slow crawl. I'm not expecting a Martin Scorsese season. I'm not. I enjoy it for what I'm getting.
It's a TV show.
It's a TV show. And on top of that, he's written what he wrote this. Look, George Lucas wrote this, and mainly he wrote it for enjoyment. It's a space opera, so see it that way. For me, I love it, and that's just the way I keep it.
I think if you love something, nobody should be able to sway you.
No, at all.
I mean, at all. You know,
at all.
And you have to really look at it. What do you like? Not what people are telling you to like.
Yeah.
The hot thing. I think some people may have fell into it. Some people may have thought, oh, wow, this Star Wars is great now because the Mandalorian, because everybody's telling them to like it. What do you like? If you like it, that's fine. That's great. If you don't like it, hey, that's great too. But we can all agree and disagree at the same time.
They disagree, but and that's what I'm saying. We can all agree and disagree. But if I like something, it's not to be challenged if I like it. For me, don't challenge me if I like something because I'm not challenging you. I'm just saying that I like it. For me, I'm getting a certain level of enjoyment each and every Wednesday off this season. I enjoy it. It's giving me that level of enjoyment. So I enjoy it. I'm not, look, the writing is what it is. They have a vision.
Yeah.
Trust the director and the writer's vision. That's their vision. It's not yours. It's not anybody else's. It's their vision. If you choose to like it, that's on you. If you don't like it, that's on you. For me, I happen to enjoy it.
And, you know, Leo, one thing I'll say about you, one thing I'll say to piggyback with what you're saying, it's completely okay to be critical of stuff because at the end of the day, we're paying money for this, right? We're paying a Disney Plus subscription. We're buying the toys. We're buying the Hot Toys figures. We're buying that stuff. So we are investing money into this. So that being said, we are allowed to be critical and say things about it that we don't or don't like. But I agree with Leal when you turn around and just say, yeah, the season sucks. I hate it. That's just a very, I shut down when people say that because it's like,
I do
because that's a very blanket statement that doesn't explain what's going on. And like Leal said, this is a vision. This is something that they've done. And you know what? It takes 1 or 2 episodes to flip everything around. Like last week's episode erased
tied a bunch of stuff
the whole
up.
season. And I'm telling you right now, like I don't know what's happening with this one, but it could totally. I loved it personally because, like Leal said, it's world building. They're world building this, and it reminds me of an Avengers Infinity War going into Endgame. It's obviously that's
what it reminds me of too.
This is going to be this still is going to leave us cliffhung a little bit, but they wrote season 4 for that reason. And I think these 2 seasons are going to kind of be together and be their own story. And it's going to be, I think it's going to have a
kind of
great
like 1 and 2 kind of had its own major overarching theme to it.
Do you think we're going to find out what the next leg in Grogu's journey was? Because that's really honestly the only thing that they haven't tied up. They tied up the Pershing stuff last week with the spies thing. Also, the spies thing, I read a thing today saying that all of the Mandalorians were spies in the biblical sense when they're talking about like Israel coming back and the spies in the night. So like all of the Mandalorians taking back their home world were the spies. Maybe we're like getting so latched onto the word spies that we saw Gideon's old lady and then we're thinking one of the Mandos is a spy, but the Mandos as spies was them going to take back their home world. Just to add context to that.
And you know that's what's so encouraging here, fellas, and everybody in the chat is it's Star Wars
layers on layers. I like that,
and it's layers and layers, and it's so enjoyable. And I'll bring up another point. With this, I mean, that's where I turn off too. Ryan is when we start attacking actors, or we attack actresses, or. My wife watches shows that I don't like. Like it doesn't float my boat to what. Like for instance, if she wants to watch Madam Secretary with Tia Leone and she loves it, and it's not my cup of tea, I'm not going to go in there and say, well, this actress is this or that, or this is a piece of garbage.
100%.
Because she likes it. It's like me telling somebody, hey, I like the Doors. Well, Led Zeppelin blows the Doors away. The Doors suck.
Yeah, 100%.
Now,
listen, people just like to hear themselves talk, bro. At this particular point, like literally, people just like to hear themselves talk, and they like to get a rise out of individuals. Because I see, I would agree with that. Honestly, I'm going to be quite honest, 100%. I see it in the chat right now. I'm just not giving it energy. I'm just not. I see a lot of ignorance in the chat right now, but I'm not giving it energy.
I'll be very upfront. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan personally, and I'll give my brain of like cameos that are in shows that don't make sense. Okay. Now, for me personally, and you don't have to agree with it, I didn't feel it like Jack Black's cameo, or that didn't really make a lot of sense for me. That's me personally. I don't care about the actor. I don't care. Like Christopher Lloyd, his cameo, I'm sorry, didn't make a lot of sense for me. Now, if he didn't get arrested and he was in a few more and his character had more like a compelling story,
why did he do it?
I'd be like, okay.
Why did he do it, Mr. Mo?
What's that?
Why did he do it? Why we did literally the Scooby-Doo explains I understand.
Why the villain did what they did even more. Yeah, he's a.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
It was a side mission, but I'm okay if they're utilized in the right way. I just think that they were utilized. It was like a video game side quest. It was like complete this mission and then boom, boom, boom. Here you go. We stuffed some cameos in there. I get it if cameos are used correctly, but I'm not attacking the actors. I'm just saying if a cameo is in a show that's used and it's compelling, I'm all for it, man. But when people start hating on the actor, your argument's invalid to me. I just kind of
it is. It's highly invalid.
Like all those dudes who got that guy who played Joffrey. Brendan Gleeson, I think, or whatever his name is.
It's any show. It's
Yeah,
not just Star Wars,
they were so mean to
any
him
show.
that. Well, yeah, it happens in Star Wars too. But I'm saying, I guess his was the first one that pops up in my head of like, well, I guess Ahmed Best they did just as dirty too.
Yeah,
and I got to be fair. I got to be fair because Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future. You know, it's Doc Brown to me. I got to be fair. If all the cameos, I can't be cherry picking by saying, well, because it's Christopher Lloyd, you know, he gets a pass, but Jack Black doesn't. No, it's all treated the same way. I don't care who you are. If the cameo doesn't fit for me and propel the story, it's whatever. But it's never about the actor. I don't. It's not about.
It isn't.
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if you were like a fanboy of the actor, like, I totally get it.
It was,
not like
it was fun. It was
people
cool,
don't
but
do.
for me, you know,
But and the thing is, these people that they're actually getting, though, and in fairness, they're getting people who are actually fans of the IP.
Agree,
and they
100%.
love the IP, and that's why they basically do it. I mean, even Lizzo, when she talked about her dad introducing her to Star Wars and how much she basically loved it after that, and she was so excited, wishing that he could be here to see her. That was heartfelt. Like, that's something that's saying like somebody is genuinely excited about it. Yes. When you watch that episode, that portion of it, it's like, okay, that breakaway really didn't, you know, push the episode forward the way we wanted. But I mean, it served its purpose, I guess, for the writer and why they basically got them there. I guess they just wanted to have this buddy cop feel type of situation.
They had good chemistry as a couple.
Yeah, they had good chemistry as a couple, and it was what. But attacking it and some of the things that I've seen and the things that people have a tendency to say, it's like, yo, that's really questionable. But to me, and it's like, yo, I question people when I see stuff like that. I question people when they basically say that she's Lizzo the Hutt, and I'll say that right now. I question you when you say that, because when you say stuff like that, then I wonder how you really, really, really feel.
Some people
that's
just use
my
it as
problem.
I'm just gonna say it. Some people use that as a smoke screen for their own prejudices.
That's
Exactly. That's how I look at it. But and I'll say it. I like Lizzo in that, and I'm going to say in the reason why, because she had like a big auntie vibe with Grogu.
She had man Star Wars Queen vibes.
I want to say it. I'm a man. I'm saying it was cute. I have a kid. It was cute. I'm sorry.
You know, I was and Star Wars is I didn't even know who Lizzo was, so I was just like,
okay, Lane.
She was an actress to me, and I was like, and I guess someone said, "Oh, she didn't like it or something." I'm like, she was. My response was not knowing who she was or anything. Obviously, I knew Jack Black was. I was like, they were fine in the role, you know. I mean, I guess it didn't need to be them, but that should be how it is. Where, you know, if you're going to have a cameo of a person in there or something, it should be that you could picture someone else just playing that part. But it's maybe a little neat that it was that person playing that part.
I have no issues with either one of them.
Cameos should work. I thought the episode was fine. Like I said, I didn't particularly I haven't loved this season with some of the storytelling direction they've gone with it, but I still think like that, you know, it's like where people get too caught up with what the people like actors or people do who are not part of whatever the production is carrying on about stuff. I've always been like, what are they doing in the whatever they're producing? That's what you should, if you're a fan or you're, you know, watch TV show, whatever, it should be about what they're doing in the production, and you carrying on or yelling about or doing anything what they feel do or in their personal lives is like that really your wheelhouse that you should be worrying about necessarily, or is it you worried about just what your entertainment is, you know?
Well, great conversation, guys. Here's how we're going to end it. You're all going to get 30 seconds with the panel up close. What surprise, your guess, your opinion, are we going to get the biggest surprise from The Mandalorian Season 3? This is going to be fun. You only get 30 seconds because I've got to end the show here in a few minutes. We are going to go one after the other. Lane, you have got 30 seconds, so I'm going to put you on first. Your biggest surprise you think is going to happen in the finale? It could be anything. Go.
I think we're going to see at least a 3D production of Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Shadow Council. As part of the, like, maybe not even see him face first, but like from behind or something, where he's going to announce his, you know, Gilad Pelion will bring him in and say, I have something to show you, or something along those lines. And we'll see, at least from behind, that Thrawn is there, which will lead sort of then into Ahsoka.
And did I spill my
show.
And does that make me spill my coffee? And I say, yes.
That'd be my one thing.
Good stuff, Ryan.
I think that this is going to be, because it's a 30-minute episode, I think it's going to be a jam-packed action rescue. I think Mando is going to be defeated, but they're going to get him back. So it's kind of like a win-lose situation. I do agree with Lane that you'll see Admiral Thrawn at the end as kind of like a little like a teaser. But I just think it's going to be an action-packed episode, and I think that Grogu's going to finally step up and show us what he can do. I don't think that IG-12 is going to last pretty long, and I think he's going to step up and show us some force powers and do something. I don't know if he's going to call on anybody. I think he's going to take the situation in his own hands and try to save Mando. So I think it's all about Grogu personally.
Ryan, you have to wonder, is this what they call you?
They call him the Wizard.
My turn, huh?
Third.
Wow, that was quick. Okay, so I agree. I think we're going to see Thrawn somewhere along the way. I think we're going to find out that he's pulling the puppet strings of Gideon. And I do believe Grogu is going to step up and do something here, because it's time for him to kick off the training wheels and do something on his own, right? We've just been discussing that at random points throughout our time here tonight. I do believe that he uses the Force and reaches out to Ahsoka, who then brings in Luke. I do believe we're going to see Luke Skywalker in this episode. And I do believe that Din Djarin does get defeated. We saw Gideon get defeated at the end of season 2. This will have a very end of Empire Strikes Back-esque type feel to it. And it's going to leave us hanging and wanting more. There's no doubt about it.
It's coffee spilling, baby. Coffee spilling. Brother cousins up close. Your call.
I think I agree with everybody here on the panel. Yes, I think it's going to be kind of like a dark ending, a la Empire Strikes Back. I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Man, I just can't wait. I can't wait. I'm a little upset that it's only 30 something minutes, but
I know.
Man, but hey, we've seen before, they've gotten a lot done in 30 minutes. So we'll see. Definitely. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait either. Hoff's hometown hero.
Woo! Okay, so
nice shirt, by the way, baby.
we're gonna get this. Oh, I got the strange thing up and running too. Anyways, so wasting time. So Grogu is gonna call Luke, who's gonna call Ahsoka, who's gonna bring the Ghost Crew. Chopper's gonna come in, Wreck Crew. We're gonna link up Grogu with Ezra. Ezra's going to train him. Everything's going to be wonderful. Probably end up on like a little bit. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Fennec Shan and Boba Fett, that whole crew's going to show up. And it's just going to be like straight up like action figures, everybody in the sandbox.
Frick, dude, I hope you're the damn wizard. Jesus. That is incredible, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
And then on the 20th, on Thursday, we're going to wake up N1.
Woo! There we go. Now we're talking.
Last but not least, the one Six Scale Man, my brother.
If we get that M1, that's gonna be some funny shit. I swear to God, I can't wait to see what
I already made my thumbnail.
Yeah, that's gonna be incredible. We get that shit. That's gonna be incredible. But no, you know what? I try not to go in this with any type of predictions because I want to be surprised. To be quite honest, the only thing that I just don't want to happen, I don't want the armor to be a spy. I don't want her to be a turncoat because that would break Toya's. That would literally break Latoya's heart because that is her favorite character, and I have to live here with this woman. So please, I don't want that to happen at all. Of course, we're going to get some Mythosaur action. I already think that that's going to happen. We're going to definitely see that Mythosaur because they've been leading up to that. Bo-Katan's going to get her just due, and no, Din Djarin will not die. That's all I'm going to say. Right now, everything else, I just want to be surprised. That's all. I just want to be pleasantly surprised. I don't think, I don't think it's going to be it's going to be it's definitely going to be a tough ending. It's going to be a darker ending because they got to lead into Ahsoka, which leads into, you know, Heir to the Empire. You know, they're setting up this whole Filoni verse a certain way, and it's so far it's looking good. Again, not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. Like it has to have like a bit of a, you know, tug of war type of feel. So we just have to see it, man. We definitely have to see where it goes. You know, with Moff Gideon. You know, there's rumors that he is in line with the, you know, just, you know, acolyte of Maul. And a lot of people were saying that again, so could the armor. I just want to go into it just with a clean slate and enjoy it. 39 minutes. Remember, you know, the Jedi, the rescue episode in season 2 was about the same, and it was a phenomenal episode. So I think that we could get something really, really special, and I just can't wait to see it. I took off Wednesday morning. I cleared my client base Wednesday morning just so I can watch and dissect this episode as many times as I want. Tomorrow night, I think I'm gonna actually be doing like a speculation type of just sit back and just, you know, have like a conversation with everybody. I don't know how it's going to end up, but we'll see how that's going to go. But yeah, I'm just going to be excited to see it. Hopefully everything just, you know, ends the way it needs to be.
No, it's going to have a do not disturb, like turn on his phone.
You're right.
On Wednesday morning. So
you damn right. You damn right.
40 minute countdown, man.
You damn right. Like straight up. Because I mean, I think pretty much everybody's going to either try to stay up till 3, depending on where you are. You know, everybody's going to at least try to stay up as much as they can. But yeah, I'm just, this is going to be exciting, man. And I know
for those who can't watch this season, man, stay offline because spoilers drop in hours. And if you're not ready for it,
I don't get to watch it till like 6:30 tomorrow on Wednesday.
Stay offline.
And that's why I'm watching it at 3 o'clock.
Stay offline.
Because I don't want any spoilers. I don't. I just want to see it for myself and let it be that, man. Definitely.
So Ryan, I got to ask you, do you think you're saying with this episode, an end game type of event?
I do. I think it's going to be this season. If you think about it, has been more about season of the villains, really. If I think about it, like, I think it's been more focused on that whole empire building back up, and the Mandos are kind of in disarray trying to figure their stuff out. So I think it's going to end with like an empire, like, you know, not like a Thanos, it's kind of like a Thanos snap, really, in a way. I do think that the victory is going to be that they get Din Djarin back, like as part of the group, like they saved him, and that's as much of a win as I think that they'll get. And I think that that's how it's going to be kind of left. And then season 4's, they got it written, ready to go, and we're gonna segue into it. I think that's what's going to happen personally.
Well, I think one more. I got a prediction. I think when all is lost, and we think that there's nothing else that anybody can do, and that the Mandalorians are at their wits' end, Max Rebo's going to come in and smacking everybody with that piano. He's going to go crazy on everybody, and it's going to be a celebratory moment.
Yeah. Thursday, we get Max Rebo in the N1.
Straight up, right?
Oh my God, that is absolutely just freaking crazy. I am so stoked, and I actually agree with you, Ryan. I think it's going to be like an end game type of event. I do think we're going to see Boba. I do think we're going to get Ahsoka. I sure as hell hope we see Luke. I think it's going to be interesting. I think maybe seeing Thrawn or something of that nature. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just really excited about this. I think it's going to lead right into Ahsoka. I can't wait for the ending credit scenes. Will we get more than just one ending credit scene?
Well, I think that's the thing, Aries. I'm trying to like harper back to what Lael said. I'm also trying to not be over excited, because we got to remember this season's been written, finalized, stamped, sealed like a long time ago. So it's not like they were, you know, listening to our feedback and, oh man, the season's kind of, all right, you know, we got to hype up the season finale to kind of get fans back into it. This thing was already done in the books, you know. So what it is what it is. Season 4, though, they can easily rewrite that if they want to, judging on the fan feedback. If they want to change the narrative, the the story. Like there's play there with that. So that's why I'm also not trying to get too hyped up about the season finale.
Yeah, they still got 4 months till they shoot that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like this season's been done already. So people speculating how it's going to pay off, and it's only 39 minutes. So they got to come, guns blazing basically in hopes to no flashbacks, no nothing. We just got to tell the current story and let's move it forward a little bit,
Well, I tell you what, man, guys, I am just freaking pumped up. And like you said, it's been, and here's the thing. I've liked the season. My expectations are, who knows? I think Favreau and Filoni are going to do something that's crazy. And I just don't know. And maybe it's just one simple thing, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm looking forward to the finale as much as I'm looking forward to the ending credit scenes, because I just don't know. Part of me is hoping I see the Book of Boba Fett Part 2 coming soon, and they've waited just for that. But who the hell knows? I mean,
returning Cad Bane.
You're returning Cad Bane. Listen, here's how I'm going to end this show. Subscribe to everybody here. Let me go down. First of all, Halt's Hometown Hero, an absolutely fantastic channel. He's been on here a few times already. I have the link to his channel within the video description below. Listen, everybody, if you haven't subscribed to AJ, who's Halt's Hometown Hero, show him some love. Let's get this guy's numbers up and subscribe to him right now. Thank you so much, AJ, for being on, brother.
I'm 2 away from 200 right now.
Let's get him to 300, guys.
Let's
and
do
gals. It. Come on. Let's go ahead and do it. The link's right in there. It's not even, I have it in there for you. AJ, thanks for being here. Mr.
Thanks
Mom.
so much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same thing with Mr. Bob. Great channel. And Mr. Bob, I think you're almost approaching 1,000, or are you there, baby?
Oh no, I'm at like 1,050. So I hit 1,000 a couple weeks ago. So I'm fully good to go. I really appreciate it, Aries.
Congrats, brother. I didn't even realize. Let's get up to 1,100, guys and gals.
Woo!
Hey, listen, I talked too much. I know I did. I apologize if I didn't shut up enough. I apologize.
No, you're perfect.
It's just the vibe was awesome. Talking to everybody, had a great conversation. Like I said, it was a long time in the making. I know we tried to hook up our schedules, but I would love to be back on anytime. You got a spot available, let me know. I love it. And likewise, I just started my own stream on Sundays, 8:15. We're talking. If anyone else wants to come on, as always. So I just started that. Did the first episode on Sunday. Sundays at 8:15. Holding it down there, so everyone's welcome as well. So likewise, I really appreciate the vibe and everyone here. Love all you guys.
Awesome. Good having you on here, and make sure you subscribe to Mr. Bob's Collectibles. We looking forward to having you back, brother Cousins. You all know him. Best of the Best is coming on Thursday. You probably got a Good Morning Grails. Make sure you all subscribe to Brother Cousins if you're not already. Smash the subscribe button. Link is in the video description. Jay, always love being on with you. Your show on Thursday is still happening, right, brother?
Yes, sir. And brother, thank you so much for having me here. It's been great conversation tonight. Definitely. Man, what can I say? This was a great show. Yeah, we got Good Morning Grails tomorrow. We're back, and we're doing Shirt M-Way tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.
Baby.
Yeah, I will be there.
Awesome. Thank you. Yes, that's going to be fun. I've been waiting.
I love that figure, dude.
Someday I will have that, but for now, I will vicariously live through you, sir.
Me too, because it's not mine. That's Big Bro's figure right there. So thanks to Big Bro. Yeah, he's great. For loaning me that figure. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that tomorrow. That's gonna be great. And yes, best of the best on Thursday. That's gonna be a great show. Got a lot to talk about. I had some stuff ready for last week, but I needed a break from honestly, I just really needed a break. But yeah, so I got some good topics for best of the best, and hopefully something else comes out and we can talk about it. And I'm sure we'll be talking about Mando, the season finale as well. So
yeah,
guys, thank you
so
so
much.
much
Stuff to talk about. Yep.
Absolutely. And Mr. Mom, once again, congratulations on that, hitting that milestone. That's great. AJ, you're gonna be on we're gonna get you there, AJ. Promise. We definitely great content.
Oh, I'm sure.
Check out AJ's channel.
I just like making the videos for the people. Tomorrow we're going hunting for diorama stuff on Diorama's Displays and Decor at 5:30, and then Wednesday I'll be talking Mando with Blue Tattoo and SB.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That's what's up.
Lael, you guys listen, same thing. I've got the link to Lael in the video description below as well. Make sure you guys show him the love. Great guy. Lael, good having you on here, brother. I know you're going to have say what on what you got so much going on, but I know we got the show next week.
Mhm.
6 Scale Raw is going to go on next week. Same time, same station. But we're going to end it a little bit early so we can get on yours, brother.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for having me here as always. Good group of individuals on here talking about stuff that, they need to be addressed, and we can have, really cordial conversations. That's what it's all about, bro. You're having a community where people can have discussions, and really, address things in such a respectful manner, bro. And hopefully we can reach one and teach one when it comes to that. But man, thank you very much for having me here. Say What Wednesday, of course. Tomorrow night, I think I'm going to do a bit of a live stream before the episode of Mando. I still don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. We'll see how we'll do it. Let me see here. We got Civilized Scoundrels on Mario's channel, where we're going to actually go through the entire season, possibly, of The Mandalorian. Then, of course, we have Friday, which is Figure Flex Friday, where people can come through and just flex your figures and just have a good time. That's what it's all about, man. Like, just come through, showcase your stuff, your pieces. That's what I like about it. Like, I mean, it's all about the figures. Just the figures speak for everybody. The people don't talk. They just watch the figures and they just have a good time. And that's what I enjoy. And then, of course, Collectors Lounge International on Sunday. So we'll definitely have some discussions there. And then, back next week again on your show. And then after your show, we're going to have the Fandom Menace, where we basically talk about how sometimes the fandom can shrink the Star Wars universe and they don't even realize it. But that's what we're
Forward to it, baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to it. Lael, thank you for coming in here. Awesome stuff. Make sure you guys subscribe to Lael. Brent, Lane.
I only came because Mr. Mom said he was bringing some cupcakes.
I don't know where that came from. That's nice. I don't know how I'd give those out, but we'll figure it out. We'll make that figure it out. We'll figure that out.
We can wash it down with some coffee, some 6 Scale Cantina coffee. Brent, the newsman, always great having you in here, my friend. It's going to be it's already been wild for Star Wars celebration. My goodness, we didn't even get to talk about it. I've got the finale. We're going to have a bunch of shows coming up. May 4th coming. Dude, always good having you on. You got to get your own channel.
Thanks for bringing me in every Monday, inviting me every week. I'm really excited as always to be a part of this community. I love all you guys, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday and seeing that finale. And I can't wait to be a part of the panel, hopefully next Monday, and we can spend a segment breaking that thing down because I think the conversation will be hearty.
You are on, baby, and I think it will be a hearty too. Looking forward to that next week. The Star Wars newsman, ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, the Lane Kramer, the man, the myth, the legend. Lane, great having you on, buddy, as always.
You've been listening to OG Fan too much.
Yes, he does promote you a lot.
Yes.
When are you going to get your own channel?
Someday over the rainbow, when the skies are
Lael, you think you should go on American Idol?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll get him there.
Maybe singing on Masked Singer so I can hide my face.
We'll get him there.
But no, it's always great to be here every Monday night. Hey guys, I mean, you just had Celebration coming off. Obviously, we've got the Mando finale. We just had the Bad Batch season 2 wrap up, and we've got May the 4th upcoming. This is like probably most prime Star Wars time for us in a couple of years. So enjoy it. Don't what we were talking about earlier. Just enjoy what's coming up here. We've got Ahsoka coming because we never know how this Disney's decisions or stuff. We may think we got stuff happening. Decisions can made. Bad things can happen in the world. Things that happen. So let's just go along with the ride. Don't have to, as Lael said, don't gotta love everything.
Nope.
But always give something a chance. We've got a season finale coming up here, and let's see what happens, man. I mean, it should be entertaining no matter what. And then at the end of the day, that's what it's about. All of this, whether we collect, watch shows, go to movies, you go to a play, or you go to a sporting event. It's about just trying to be entertained, relax, and see what happens. You're not always going to enjoy the result of it, but sometimes it's about what happened, the journey getting there. And then, you know, being able to listen to us talk or be able to talk amongst your friends, like, hey, what would I have done? You know, what we had done if we had been the one doing this to make it a little bit better.
Very well said, Lane. Very well said.
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
well said.
Well said, bro. Well said.
What an awesome show, guys. Yeah, absolutely. And I had so much fun. Star Wars is so much fun. Collecting is so much fun. This community is so much fun. I don't always have so much fun or spill all this spotchka and all the green stuff is gone and I'm all out of wizard juice and forget about coffee. It's been spilled. But when I do all of this, I do it right here at Six Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Have a good evening, everybody.
All right. But this is the last time.
Christian Bale.